Now, Ben got a heck of a program. A lot of people listening to Brother Ben. And Ben tells them about the minister. And Ben tells them about the minister.
Assalamu alaikum. How are you all feeling this Friday morning? In the name of Allah, the beneficent and merciful, I bear witness there is no God but Allah, who came in the person of Master Father Muhammad. And we thank him for raising up for us the living and exalted Christ, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. And we further bear witness that the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan is a divine warner, guide, and the Messiah in our midst today. It's in their three names. I would like to greet you all with the greeting words of peace we said in the Arabic language of Assalamu alaikum. Today we're going to be listening to part 2 of Brother Nuri's interview with Brother Nick Cannon, and today's topic is the science of mating. The science of mating. There were 3 sciences that the Honorable Elijah Muhammad said that they didn't teach us. 1, the science of mating. 2, the science of business. 3, the science of warfare. If I got that wrong, somebody please correct me, but I believe that's the 3. The science of business, the science of mating, and the science of warfare. What does the word science mean? Let's look it up. We've been saying science all of our life, but what does science mean? When I look at the word science, we get the systematic study of the structure and behavior of the physical and the natural world through observation, experimentation, and the testing of theories against the evidence obtained. I'm going to say that again. The science means the systematic study of the structure and behavior of the physical and natural world through observation, experimentation, and the testing of the theories against the evidence obtained. Another definition says, a branch of knowledge or study dealing with the body of facts or truths systematically arranged and showing the operation of general laws. When I think about that now with the definition of science, the science of mating, many of us we just mating. Ain't no science to it. Ain't no systematic approach to it. We just mating. So this is why the understanding the science of mating is important. The Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, let me give you the words. I just want to give you the words directly from him. Look at what the minister said. As we're going to be talking about mating today. Today should be good. New interview. The minister said, all right, let me look it up. You know, for anybody who used to, man, hold on. I'm trying to think about where I put it. I think it's somewhere on my, I looked up the wrong thing. Oh, here we go. Don't go nowhere. We ain't going nowhere this morning. All right. Let me see if I can find it, y'all. Wow, that's interesting. I actually don't know where it is. Anyways, I know what he said. I was trying to quote it verbatim. But basically, the minister said that marriage is the two husband and wife, the wife helping the man to do the will of God as a team. That's what he said. He said is she's helping him to do the will of God. They're doing it as a team. Man, I know I have it saved somewhere. Okay, here it is. See? The Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan teaches us the purpose of marriage is to do the work of God as a team. Now, let's talk about systematic approach. Systematic approach. If you don't even know what the will and work of God is, how can we be following this purpose of marriage? Let's just think about it now. Many of us, marriage is, just getting together legally. Some marriage is legal fornication, legal or legal sex. Okay, it ain't illegal no more. So the minister also said that the woman not just married the man, but the mission. But what if the man don't know his mission? What if the man don't know the mission? What if the man don't know his mission? The man is the leader. The man is got the vision. Or what if he don't know his vision yet? What systematic approach could we put in place if we don't even know that first step yet? How can we systematically approach who the right mate is? So I'm just thinking, I'm just throwing this out at us as we kind of look at our relationships, look at ourselves. And we wonder, man, why it's so this is just so hard. It is hard. We're taught it is half of our faith. And so that's going to be difficult, because if that's half of our faith, it's similar to the journey of meeting with God. It's going to be difficult. Oh, it's going to be struggle and pain. But I would like to say, this brother being talking now, we make it more difficult when we skip and we don't understand there's a systematic approach to it. There's a science to it. It's already hard. You're going to make it more harder? We're going to make it more harder? I know that's probably not a word, right? Harder. Yeah, it is. More difficult? Whatever the case may be. Worser. Is that the word? Is that the thing that don't have a on it? Worser? Anyways. But yeah. If we don't know some of these things, man, we don't know our mission, we don't know our vision, we don't know where we're going. We don't know what the woman do. The man don't know what he want to do. So if the man don't know what his purpose is and the woman don't know what her purpose is, what they doing together as a team besides getting together and we having sex and it's producing children, and then we going, what's the purpose of it? So I'm just giving us that as something to think about. And within our own selves. Let's look at me. Is there before we even do the science of mating, man, the science of self. The science of self. And have I found out? See, the minister said that there's demons they gotta come up out of us. Now imagine a demon getting with a demon. What the youngsters say these days, the little young whippersnappers. Now they both on demon time. See? Now, but we want a godly union, but both on demon time. We want a godly union, but both demons like a mug. I'm not patient, she not patient. I'm jacked up, she jacked up. You jacked up, he jacked up. I got some trauma. You got some trauma. You ain't dealt with, ain't thought about dealing with, think you ain't got no more. He got some trauma don't realize he got, and we don't even realize we dealing with two, as they would teach in Scientology, they would say two reactive minds. Now I'm responding to my past trauma. That's how I'm responding to certain situations. She responding to two situations with past trauma. You and your brother, you and the sister, just responding to each other just as bad as you can be. We just messed up as we can be. But talking about, I don't know what's going on. We just stay into it. Yeah, we know, yeah. You know what's going on. We devils like a mug. So the science of self. So once I understand the systematic approach of improving myself, when they come up with a systematic approach of improving themselves, and see, because it ain't what I'm coming to find out. Oh, I done cracked the secret. Yeah, it ain't always the other person. Yeah, it's some I done did, and some I'm not taking full responsibility for. But how can I take responsibility for it if I'm not mature enough to take accountability for it? Damn, as the man, you know what? I messed up. I should have been. See, and that become hard, but it become easier when you're working on yourself. When you start to admit, damn, you know what? I got some wrongs in my life. Damn, yeah, I messed up right there. Ooh. See, but when I'm afraid to admit that to myself, not admit that to somebody else, not going to the, as the minister say, going to the priest, going to this person. Okay, here go all my faults. No, Cause we all got ain't nobody worthy. Yeah, to myself, you know what, bro, you could have done better right there. See, if I can't admit to me in private, how the heck I'm going to ever admit to somebody else and atone with somebody else if I can't atone with me? See, I think this is a part of the science. Because we can get together and know all the tips and tricks and the questions that I ask in the courtship and I know about the past. Oh, you asking about, what some of the difficulties you went through and what you got all the good questions. But then if I'm not questioning me, if I don't go into courtship with me now, let me ask me some questions. Let me see. Let me go back into that time of pain. Let me go back into see what's gonna trigger me in this. If I don't know my triggers. Now, what I just responded to you wasn't really me. It was my pain talking to you. And now you now interpreting me, but it's really my pain. It's really I'm striving to prevent, I'm triggered by something that was said or done, and I don't even know it was a trigger. Then when we get mad, we say things. It ain't really me talking. It's that we on demon time now. But ain't no sign that comes up that say, he on demon time now. She's on demon time now. So that ain't really her. Let me take what she's saying with a grain of salt. Or, damn, what he or she may be saying may really be the truth. And see, there go the problem. Then you don't know. What you just said when you was angry, was that the truth? Or were you saying it, and you really didn't mean it? So now time goes by. Now, the relationship seems to be better. It's not a heated argument, but there's something about the mind that the mind don't forget. Did he really mean that when he said that? Did she really mean that when she said that? Is that how they really feel about me? Because I don't know. Because sometimes they say the truth really comes out when you're really, really, really mad. But then we also know some things are said out of spite when you're really, really mad. So now because I don't know, there's something in me that's affecting me. And now the thought that's in my mind, and then when you do something else, it feeds that thought of uncertainty. See, and we think just the bad things is what affects it. Cheating, cutting them, hitting you with, pulling knives on each other. We think those big things is the only thing that may affect it. Those are the only big problems in the relationship. Is you did this and I did. No, it's some of them little small things that we not realizing that's affecting the other person's thoughts. It ain't got to be those big sins that you want to point out all the time. It's some little small stuff that you don't know affecting the mind, affecting the other person. And what I'm coming to find out, see, what I learned over the last weekend, there are some things that may be big to one person, but small to another person. It may not affect them the same. Everybody not affected the same. So what you may think is small, all I did was, you don't know, but that was big for the other person though. That was damn near like seeing you kiss somebody. You don't know. You don't know. Well, in your eyes, you didn't do nothing so big, but in their eyes, man, that really affected me. So you don't know while we sitting here judging which sin or which bad is bigger than the other. Whoo, deep stuff. But see, this ain't just about relationships, in relationship, marriage. This could be business relationships too. This could be your colleague. This can be your friend. All of these factors is going into play. So if we don't have a science and we just kind of walking through life and we naturally we don't know we don't know what to do. We just going through this thing, getting hurt and tore up out the frame. Because we don't have a systematic, practical approach of this. So I just wanted to start off with this so that we can further understand why this interview is important, so that we can understand the science of mating, because there's a systematic approach. And if there's a systematic approach, there may be a right way to choose someone, and there may be a wrong way to choose someone. If there's a systematic approach to it and there's a science to it, there may be a wrong person for you, and there might be a right person for us. Damn, that's something to think about, ain't it? It make you think. And I ain't talking about just because I know everybody probably think, well, is the person I'm with right for me? Well, am I right for them? See? Am I right for them? Am I terrible for them? The demon for them? What work do I got to do? What work do I got to improve to become better? And then sometimes you can become better and it don't matter if the other person don't want to come better. That's a factor. What do you do then? So this science stuff, man, is deep, okay? So, all right, I'm off my soapbox. We 20 minutes in. Let's get it. And the reason I did that because the interview is only 30 minutes. I know we usually be on here 2 hours, so I'm just giving us a little time. We'll still have a lot of time for feedback. And I want to hear your feedback today. Don't be shy today. Everybody dealing with something in a relationship, business relationship, your mama and you into it, daddy and you into it. There's some type of relationship in your life that we struggling with, that we learning from, that we growing from. So yeah, relationship, that's why relationship go viral on social media, because everybody in one, whether if you're in a marriage or you in some type of relationship. Okay, here we go. Let's press play.
Are back on Council Culture, the place where we feel together, we reveal together so we can heal together. And this is our second session with this brother. Like I said, we're in the presence of just so much wisdom, highest class of civilization, truly indeed, the one and only brother Nuri Muhammad.
Thank you, brother.
Author of the latest masterpiece, The Mathematics of the Mind. And I mean, we're gonna dive into that. I
Yes,
mean, I've watched you teach. I watch some of your speaking online, and definitely prolific, and always just delivering a great message. Our last session we discussed, fixing us. All the things that we highlighted, obviously some of the issues.
Right.
And then we talked about, how to rescue oneself. But here on Counsel Culture, we really seek counsel when it comes to many things. And one of the things I learned about you in the last session, and that, I feel like can definitely help so many brothers out there, is, strongly married going on 30 years.
So a thought just came to my mind. Do y'all want to do the videos the same way we've been doing the reading, where we pause it and we kind of, okay, anybody, if you got something to say on what he just said, so you're not trying to have to remember and say it at the end, or with the videos, do y'all want to just go on through it, take notes, and everybody just ba-da-da-da at the very end? How y'all want to do how y'all want to do that? Take notes. Okay, y'all gotta let me know. So pause it. Okay, Paul, what y'all think about what he just said for the first 5 minutes? Give feedback, then move on. Boom, give feedback, then move on. Or just watch the whole thing and then do it at the end.
Take notes. Watch the whole thing.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I see a couple people voting for that. Watch the entire thing. Got it.
Yes, sir.
And from age 19.
Yeah, early.
Man,
And we've been together since we were 14.
Wow.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna just go ahead and call it how I call it, man. I don't have those superpowers.
Yes, sir.
And I've even on this platform, other platforms, I pontificated. I gotten loud, crack jokes about monogamy and how. And one of the things I do always stand firm in, because I truly believe this, that a man cannot be monogamous unless he has that discipline from God. And I don't know, like I said, not to indulge, I just admire any man that can say, he's been with that. It's true success that you've been with your wife for 30 years and even together for even beyond that. So I commend you and bow down to you for that, because I know the struggles that I have.
Yes, sir.
And I mean, I think we got to dive in and have this conversation about relationships. Where I believe, I've tried to get it right many times. I've failed so many. But to sit next to a brother like you who has done it, you're leading by example. And I think, you got to share that wisdom with us.
Well, I would say that just like we was breaking down the operation of a black man, and we talked about the individual specific things we can do engaging in our own self-care and self-repair. Mm-hmm. That's what we talked about last segment.
Right.
But there's a saying that teamwork makes the dream work.
Don't it?
So after choosing to believe in God, the most important decision you'll ever choose in life is picking the right one mate to spend the rest of your life with. They're either going to inspire you to grow into your greatness or confine you to complacency. They'll either be your other half or make you half for yourself. The Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan said this once. He said that a good relationship will bring out the best in you and make you more youthful. And a bad relationship will bring out the worst in you and cause you to age prematurely. So you have to make sure that you figure out the right place to plant your love. Because just like a seed goes into the soil, whatever's in that soil will integrate with the seed. And as it grows and produces fruit, it will have the soil and the seeds ingredients wrapped in that product. So it is with the way we plant our love. So that's a decision that has to be made. And we all have the capacity to do it if we're operating in the core with our nature. That's really what religion is supposed to do. The definition of religion by etymological root, prefix re, do again. Religion in Greek means to get to God. Religion is supposed to get you back in the oneness with God. The scriptures of Bible and Holy Quran, this is really our nature on paper. So when you're reading it, you're reading the natural you. And I was thinking about when you said it about the discipline that it takes. There's a verse in 2 Timothy that says that God did not create man in the spirit of timidity, but he created man in the spirit of power, love, and self-discipline, or some translations say sound mind. But you can't have a sound mind if you don't have self-discipline. So self-discipline is really doing what you should do when you should do it, whether you feel like doing it or not.
Right.
It's the ability to maintain an action long after the excitement has worn off.
Right.
We have the mental muscle. We just use it for different things. So I was really love and self-discipline, or some translations say sound mind. But you can't have a sound mind if you don't have self-discipline. So self-discipline is really doing what you should do when you should do it, whether you feel like doing it or not.
Right.
It's the ability to maintain an action long after the excitement has worn off.
Right.
We have the mental muscle. We just use it for different things. So I would say that when you are in a relationship and you make that person your mate, and instead of trying to say what is imperfect in her or him, and I need another her or him to go with this her or him, recognize that whatever you find in the other one is all in this one too. So the minister was talking to some sisters one time. Look what he told them. He said, sisters, unfortunately, you did not marry the man of your dreams. Look what he said though. He said, the man of your dreams is inside the man that you married. Get to mining him out.
Wow.
Flip that.
Yeah.
Brother, you did not marry the woman of your dreams.
All right.
The woman of your dreams is inside the woman that you married. Get to mining her out. Now, how do you, study mining. First thing you need, you got to send a canary down in the mine. A very gentle. So that's the kind of conversation you got to have when you want to mine all of the qualities you find in others in the one. Then you got to have on a hard hat with a light on it. So that means you got to have some knowledge and wisdom. So when you unpack the story of Adam and Eve in the garden, it's metaphorical, really. But Eve liked the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. What does that mean? That women are attracted to men that have knowledge and are productive. So when you are that, then and you operate like a divine miner, you can get everything that you see in others out of the one. So I can't say that I'm trying to even do that. Right. Because we are truly friends. I don't just love my wife, I like my wife. So we enjoy each other's company. I always tell people about marriage, if you're not having fun, you're doing it wrong.
Indeed. So why do you think, to your point, why are so many people doing it wrong? Why are so many people having issues in relationships and committing to one person? Even when they are doing that, they seem unhappy. They seem, we're at a time now, there's so many options, there's so many distractions, in this world. And people really don't see the benefit of having a helpmate, a soulmate, a life companion when, there's other ways to find what we call love.
So unfortunately, we have lost the respect for ourselves and for each other, to the point where most people are not even looking at he's and she's anymore. We're looking at it's, and we treat each other like a it.
Right.
There's a story, a little documentary that was done at Stanford by someone named Lindsay. I can't remember her last name, but it's called The History of the Bikini. And what they did is they took men and put them under brain MRI analysis and let them look at women undressed and then look at women dressed.
Right.
And what they found is that the more undressed that the woman was, the more of the area of the brain that registered with tools versus person. So they seen the woman more as a it than a she. Now, when if you see a tool, you use tools for your pleasure.
Right.
So that mathematics, not just from the dress, but from the way that we handle each other, we have stepped down from the divine to human and past human down to where we're seeing each other as it's, and we're really
We lost the humanity. We don't humanize each other.
We're using people for the love of things when we're supposed to be using things for the love of people. So because of that loss of respect, it makes it now where men and women become options like ice cream. I got a taste for butter pecan today. I got a taste for, Neapolitan. I got a taste for chocolate. I got a taste for vanilla. And we really are handling human beings like they're it's whenever we should be handling. I always tell the sisters this. I tell the sisters, look, I said, come on off that clearance rack and get back behind the glass where the real valuables are at. When you go to the jewelry store and you go to look at the fine jewelry, costume jewelry's all over the place. You can pick it. That fine jewelry, it'll have a note on the glass. It says, we're only allowed to show you one item at a time. Why? It's valuable. So whenever if women carried themselves in a certain way, we would discipline ourselves. We would if they made their yes only a yes whenever you ask for my hand in marriage, and no until, it'll be a whole lot more weddings going on and a lot more love and loyalty present. So the Honorable Elijah Muhammad said this. He said, where there are no decent women, there are no decent men. For the mother is the first teacher and the mother of civilization. So as her standards come up, ours are going to be forced to come up with it.
Wow, so a man is he's gonna follow based off of, how she conducts herself.
Yeah, and that's the nature. See, by nature, we are the initiators of a relationship. Proper system would be, I go to her father. I'm initiating though. I would like to talk to your daughter. Now, when it comes time to agreement, I'm gonna get down on one knee and propose. See, so it's even whenever the father is walking his daughter down the aisle, that's how it's supposed to be.
Right.
Look at what the minister says. Are you, talking to the father, are you prepared to give her hand to him in marriage? And if he says yes, guess what he does? He goes sit down. Now this man that you gave your daughter's hand to has to care for her like you used to as a father, and also be that kind of husband that she's looking for.
Wow.
So that kind of healthy love and healthy system keeps us in a focus where we are more spiritual in relationship, and there's more he's and she's, and there's more divine beings than it is it's.
That's heavy. That's definitely heavy. I know that's helping some people out there. I would ask and wonder, just even trying to unpack all of that, what is a woman supposed to be to a man, and what's a man supposed to be to a woman?
Well, that's a good question. Again, like we talked in the other segment, when it comes to, it broke my heart. The reason why I even wrote my first book was called Before You Say I Do. It's because everywhere we were going to teach, Brother Nick, when we would get finished with the set, I don't care who it was, whatever group it was, organization, we always had a sidebar meeting at the hotel with the organizers about relationship problems. And I said, man, I'm so tired of doing this. So I said, let me write me a book. Before You Say I Do. And then I had to do After You Say I Do. Now I'm like the old school doctors. I say, look, take 2 of these. Call me in the morning.
Right.
But what we found is that we've never been taught the science of mating.
Wow.
Go back and research. In 1867, Congress met to discuss whether they were going to allow black people to go to colleges and universities.
Wow.
When on the floor of Congress, they said yes, but there's 2 things that won't happen. Number 1, they can't come to our colleges and universities. And number 2, whatever school they go to, there are 3 sciences that must never be taught to the slave. The science of finance, the science of warfare, and the science of mating. Now you look at where our problems are coming from. Finance. We blame the white man for 95% of our problems and still spend 97% of our money with them.
Right.
We the leaders in unnecessary spending. We always buying stuff we don't need with money that we don't have from people that we don't like to impress people that we don't even know.
No.
That's us.
Yeah.
And warfare. Look at how many of our own brothers we kill. So even whenever everybody was complaining about the police, we had to keep pricking everybody's conscience.
Yeah.
You know, in a 3-year cycle, you have 2,000 to 3,000 black men killed by police officers or correctional officers. That's bad. But in the same 3 years, 25,000 black men are killed by other black men.
Yeah.
So we are doing science of warfare. We don't know it, or we wouldn't be doing this to each other.
Right.
Mating has 2 sides to it. Choosing a mate, and then when you come together, children are going to come from mating. And that's parenting.
Right.
So we have not been properly educated on relationships male to female, and relationships father and mother to child, or child to mother and father. These are sciences that must be learned in order for us to win.
Indeed.
And this what broke my heart, Brother Nick. When we was doing Before You Say I Do, the research team that was helping me, they were looking up all the books on relationship.
Right.
At the time, 386,000 books.
Wow.
And I said, you know what? Can you do me a favor? It was a person that worked at a library at a university so they can do research.
Right.
I said, can you find out of them 386,000 books on relationship, are any of them the Bible or the Quran? Do you know on no list did they have scripture?
Wow.
So they had a whole bunch of people theorizing, but not discussing the wisdom that came from the creator of the institution.
Wow.
And the first institution created by God was not a church. It wasn't a mosque.
Yeah.
It wasn't a school. First institution created by God was a family.
Yeah.
So he's the author of it.
Right.
So let him be the one that teaches us on it. And that would help us out a lot.
And is it as simple as the man is the provider and the protector, and the woman is the nurturer and the caregiver?
That's a part of it. So, you know, when you unpack Bible and Quran, there are gender-specific commands for the man and the woman. Man, maintainer, protector, provider. Woman, helpmeet, comfort, and consoler. Mm-hmm. That's big titles, though.
Yeah.
But man is much more than a handyman, a bodyguard, and a human ATM machine.
Right.
And woman is much more than a pleasure box, a chef, and a maid.
Yeah.
This is your life partner.
Right.
So in when we said in the beginning, teamwork
Makes the dream work.
makes the dream work. The minister said this. He said, love anticipates need. So that means when you love somebody, you're always studying what they need, and you're looking for an opportunity to cover in that category. So a real man that loves a woman, he doesn't have to hear her ask for. He's always studying to see what she might want or what she might need, trying to fulfill it, and vice versa. So I have a saying that when a man's in love with a woman, her wants become his goals. So that mathematics is what should be employed. And when you have that kind of relationship where two people are vying with each other to see how I can outlove you, then you don't have to have the job description and be so specific and scripted in your love. There's a story of a family, of a couple in Mali from the ancient days, and it's a man and woman. Man comes home from work, and his wife has really long hair down to the floor, and she asked her husband, she said, honey, I would like to get this comb. It's very expensive to take care of my hair.
Right.
And he says, I'm sorry, right now we can't do that. My watch just broke, and I need this watch for work. So I gotta get my watch fixed. I'm sorry.
Right.
So he left, went to work, came home. As he was coming home, he went to the watch store to repair it, and he said, you know what? How much would you give me for this watch? He sold the watch and went and bought her that comb.
Wow.
Came home excited.
Right.
Honey, I got something I want you to see. She came out, and when she came out, she had cut off all of her hair.
Oh, wow.
He said, I just bought you this comb. Why'd you do that? She said, well, I cut off my hair and I sold my hair and I got you this watch.
Wow.
See, that's the way it's supposed to be.
Right.
Where two people are really trying to figure out how their love can anticipate the need, and they can show you, I love you more than you love me. When you got that kind of competition going on, you got a healthy relationship. You don't have to get into such of a job description and scripted role when you got love like that.
Brother Nuri, all of that sounds amazing. That sounds like the fairy tale love story. I wish I could, trade in my watches and buy all the combs I need to. But it's difficult for me, man. Like I said, I sit here on your couch and just, if there's any wisdom, if there's anything, just even as I personalize it, I mean, it's so much out there. And I think, I would say even the times are different. I mean, because I've been married. I've been, and even, like I said, there's something to the fact of your foundation, your root, the fact that you've known your wife since you were 14. Yeah. There's power in that. Yeah. There's equity in that. Right. There's you hold on, the value of that person, who they are. Y'all came up together, y'all built stuff together. Today, it's a lot more surface than that. It's difficult to find those individuals. Yeah. And for me, I mean, like I said, as one who is seeking wisdom, and like I said, I know there's probably a lot of people out there like, man, that sounds amazing. We all, we strive for that. Yeah. But when we find ourselves in these current scenarios, man, like it's hard to trust people.
Yes.
We got these conversations of the alpha males, the alpha females, the beta males, the beta people. Like you don't really know what you're stepping into. You don't know who to emote to. You don't know who really has your back. So in knowing, the likelihood of someone finding what you have is slim to none.
But this is what happened. So what did we develop by starting off so young like that? We developed what they found to be the longevity ingredient of relationships.
Right.
In 2012, they went around the world studying hundreds of couples that were happily married 65 plus years.
Right.
And they were trying to figure, okay, what is the common thing that you can find among, and it was all different nations. Do you know they found that the longevity ingredient among those that were happily married 65 plus years, where they were friends of one another? So friendship is really the longevity ingredient in that math. So because we grew up together, we developed the friendship. So question is, can someone develop that kind of friendship in their relationship without having to meet somebody at 14? And the answer still is yes.
Right.
And I would challenge people, because like you said, so many confluences of thoughts that are coming, so much energy is coming from so many different directions. We have to be careful what we deposit inside of our mind.
Right.
Because even the term alpha male, alpha is a Greek term.
Indeed.
That's not our term.
That's not us.
It's not our term. So I have a saying that I try to use to help people to calibrate quickly. I said this about myself: I will not allow my self-image nor any other concept to be shaped, or any other perception to be shaped by non-scriptural concepts. So now in my mind, I'm saying, all right, gender-specific commands. I learned this from the minister. He showed me something in Ephesians 5:33, where it talks about the two different ways that a man can get the best out of a woman and a woman can get the best out of a man. Two different systems, though. It says men must love their wives as they love themselves, and women must respect their husbands. Two different verbs.
Absolutely.
One is man to get the best out of woman is love. But the woman to get the best out of man is respect. They both need them both. But love for the woman is water and respect is food. And respect for the man is water and love would be considered food. You need water more than you need food.
Right.
And whenever you unpack that and go into what love is and what respect looks like and look at the ingredients of practice, when you do that with each other, then you'll find that a healthy relationship, and it won't be a fairy tale. You'll have the real deal, happily ever after.
Yeah, I mean, there's that big bad wolf, there's that lustful demon that's out there. That I mean, and you know, I joke, but I mean, lust, and we even kind of touched on it a little bit in the first session. I mean, the separation between love and lust. I mean, the superficiality of what goes on in the world. As a people, we've succumbed to it, and even, I mean, as I sit here, if I'm being honest, I probably made more lustful moves in my life than I've made loving moves. And I consider myself a loving individual. I consider myself someone who cares for people, empathetic, even, but I've made selfish decisions.
Yeah.
I've made, I made egotistical decisions, and honestly, fleshly decisions. To where, you know, for the majority of my life, and as I strive to mature and I think about things, I'm like, all right, well, you know, the situation that I'm currently in, I mean, I have multiple children with multiple women, and even still trying to be a stand-up individual in that process, and care and love for everyone involved, because I have to be the responsible man of what I put forth. And they look to me for the love. They look to me for the guidance. They look to me for the leadership of households. So even as complex as my situation is, and for individuals who may just even are dealing with trying to find that one,
right?
And they're still up against, you know, all of the other strides, all the other pressures of the world, that love gets convoluted, but lust is easy.
Well, you answering it though. So the nature of the brain is to avoid pain and seek pleasure.
Right.
However, if you allow that nature to become your activity of life, then you end up becoming a weak, broke individual. You have to activate.
Now you're shooting at me. You have
to activate your override mechanism.
Yeah.
And say, you know what? You know, everything of value has a difficulty factor attached to it. So if I only avoid pain and seek pleasure, I'm never gonna get nothing of value. So let me activate this override mechanism and kick in and do what is good, what is right, and might be hard, instead of what is easy and wrong and quick. And once you make that decision, you know, there's a you heard of, I know you know Napoleon Hill.
Absolutely.
Mr. Think and Grow Rich.
Yeah.
Do you know that he originally was hired by Andrew Carnegie to study,
to follow and study him for 20 years.
For 20 years, he was looking for and meeting 50 of the most successful people in all fields of human endeavor around the world. And he studied them all for 20 years. Yeah. But do you know that he met, in the process, he said he met 25,000 people in those same fields that were failing. So when he came out with, the original book was The Laws of Success in 16 Lessons that became watered down and modified to Think and Grow Rich.
Right.
But when he came up with it, he found that there was a comparison between the failures in the same endeavor as it was the successful.
Right.
One of them was that those who were successful always did things that were goal achieving, while those who failed in their endeavor always looked for things that were tension relieving.
Right.
Then look at this. The most successful always follow what he called the law of transmutation,
Yeah.
which was the ability to convert
withhold.
lust. Yep, convert the lust that comes up in you for the opposite sex, sexual energy, and convert that into creativity and into willpower to work on their purpose for living. He called it the definite chief aim and purpose.
Absolutely.
To work. So by law of transmutation, you got to, okay, if it rises in me, okay, how do I package it and take that energy instead of allowing it to be with another woman? How do I let this be for my purpose for living?
Right.
And by that law of transmutation, those are how the 50 became what they were. They became the most successful, and the other 25,000 became the failures in the batch. So I'm saying that to say, think about how much you've accomplished like this.
Right.
You're great, but you would be greater. You're good, but you would be more.
I've heard this before.
So after I was looking at the stats of the 25,000 failures and the comparison to the mindset activity of the 50 people that were successful, you know what I said? I said, aha, the downfall of too many men has been the upkeep of too many women.
It's a bar. I can't even say nothing. We're going to have to pause right there in this session because I have no more words. Brother Nuri Muhammad, so powerful. I mean, you helping me. I know you helping and healing so many out there. And till next time, we got another session.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I got to go make some phone calls.
No.
I love it. It's council culture. Likes.
Woo! Ooh-wee. That was good, that boy. All right. Person number 1. If you have something that you would like to share with this, man, a lot of gems drop. A lot of gems that was dropped. All right, let's start off with Brother Daniel. You can't even unmute yourself. Here you go. Try again.
All praises due to Allah. Stuff be so timely. What you open up with, brother, it fell right in line with the point where really it's nothing but 1 point. And that scientific way to choose a mate, and hearing our brother Nuri speak, student minister Nuri, and hearing the questions that brother Nick Cannon is asking, what's coming to my mind is the first fundamental principle in choosing a mate is to let God be in your life, follow the laws, rules, and regulations of Almighty God, and then learn who I am, my nature. Level up within myself, learn what my divine purpose is, then seek from there. I'm a brother who was married for 25 years at that time to a registered MGT, and I would take nothing from that relationship because I learned so much about me in that relationship. But it did come to an end after maybe about 23 years, and that was very difficult because when you be with somebody for 23 years, you think you found that one, but not necessarily so. Some people are in your life for a season. So when I realized that my dear sister wasn't in line with my divine purpose and the direction I was going in was creating such opposition, such disharmonious energy, I had to make a tough decision, which wasn't easy to make. So I had a lot of divine intervention from the God through various persons, one main person in particular, to help me get out of that situation. And what's coming out of that, I have a lot of things that I got to get together within myself before I can enter that dynamic again, because it was the very mindset that I was in that caused me to choose wrong. So when brother said the second most important thing you can do after serving God is choose your mate, I live that. I bear witness. And when he said he had to write the book because he was dealing with so many cases where people were working but they weren't happy in a domestic situation. You can't do anything in a situation where you just experiencing so much pain and strain. You're not going nowhere in life. So that's what I got out of what our brother is saying, and I just learned that it's so important to get into the nature of who Allah created us to be, and without that self-analysis and living that reality, I will never choose a proper mate. And then I also learned the importance of obedience to Allah, taking the laws that He gave us, which helps us to grow into our nature, and obeying those laws so that I can choose right and not making a decision from my brothers said from lust, rooted in a deep emotion, trying to find temporary relief for a long-term problem. So those are some of the things that I pulled out of this message. Thank you.
Praise be to Allah. One of the things that stood out for me, my bad, I was looking at some other quotes. He said, discipline. Discipline is doing what you should do when you should do it, when you should do it, whether if you feel like it or not. Doing an action long after the excitement has worn off. All right. Over the weekend, I've been sharing with you guys some of the stuff I learned and, going over in my sessions with the brother that flew in. One of the things I remember him saying is that the mind, when a person has these transgressions, or they call it overts, when those transgressions, if you will, stack up, the person, if they're withholding something, they begin to make the other person bad. They will even make up things. It says dream up things to make the other person bad. Why? To it's called lower the reputation of the other person, to then justify why you are the way that you are. He said that even when the person stops doing what they're supposed to do because of the other person, that is an agreement that's being broken. Your agreement that you have, basically the other person has nothing to do with your agreement. So if you don't do this because they didn't do this, see, when you get into that, I forgot what they called it. It's a sequence. It's a overt. See, it's a sequence that's going, well, tit for tat. Well, you didn't do this. Well, I didn't do. Well, you didn't do it. And that ends up bad. So breaking an agreement is not always something, again, big. Like we agree. There's unwritten agreements, moral agreements that's written in. So it ain't always you broke the trust or you didn't do this. So it could be you said that you was gonna do this and you didn't. Those can add up in your mind on how, because you know you didn't do it. You know you said you was going to do it. You know that's your role, but you didn't do it. So these begin to stack up, and you become critical. And it talks about when you find a person being I'm not saying the word proper, but I'm gonna use this word in replace of for lack of the actual word, overly critical. It's something that the other person, it's something that person is withholding. Oh, this is so deep, and man, that stuff is beautiful. Because you see a person, they so critical, you assume it's everybody else. No, what they've discovered is something that person has done and withholding when they overly critical of somebody else. So discipline. See, discipline, there's things that you don't want to do. Man, I don't feel like doing that. I don't feel like doing it. No. See? And if we only do it when we feel like doing it, is that discipline? If we only do it when we feel like doing it, what about when life hits? What about when life hit? When you're tired, when you've been dealing with so much, it don't get done. And that bothers or messes with the relationship. Because this is agreement. The man can't just say, man, I don't feel like paying the bills this month. I don't feel like it this month. The woman, or maybe the man can. He can't say that. Well, I had a discussion about that before. Anyway, move past that. The woman, so let me take a word can't or can, because technically they can. That's kind of what I was getting at. She can't say, well, I don't feel like, just cooking this month. I don't feel like it this month. I'm just not feeling it. I don't feel like consoling. I don't feel like helping you this month. I just, you got it. You know what I'm saying? So if it's based on feeling, that's not discipline. Discipline is doing it even when you don't feel like doing it. Discipline is doing it even when the excitement is not there. Same thing with basketball. I got my discipline from basketball. Hey man, doing what you going to the gym when you don't want to go to the gym, having to run and lift weights and stuff when you don't want to do it, having to practice and work on your free throws when you don't want to do it. They used to tell us that's discipline. You got to do it, son. If you want to be successful, you got to do it when you don't want to come. You got to do it when the coach ain't watching. Ain't that what y'all heard? You got to do it when the coach ain't there. That's what they told us discipline was. So that's one of the things that stands out for me. Brother Nuri said, discipline is doing what you should do when you should do it, whether you like it or not. Doing action long after the excitement has worn off. All right, let's go to Sister Jamie. Brother Nuri, you gonna fix this thing?
Assalamu alaikum, family.
Sister Jamie, I'm sorry.
You're fine. Assalamu alaikum. This is one I enjoyed this interview. Well, first and foremost, Nick Cannon, I applaud him for doing this interview with Brother Nuri. One of the best lectures that we have out there is when the minister did How to Give Birth to a God. He goes deep into the science of mating. He goes deep into what we are supposed to do. And I love it because it does not just deal with how to give birth, a physical birth to a child, but how to give birth to the God of your mind, how to give birth to the God within. And he said, if I never did another lecture, this was the best lecture for us to always back up on and learn from and grow from. With that being said, I wanted to give two things really quick. The definition of transmutation is the active process of changing something completely, especially into something different. Keep that in mind. And then I want y'all to look at, there are strategies that they have out there on the books of mating. Now they have human mating and they have mating with animals, right? Now, it's funny because unfortunately, we have learned how to mate like animals. And we don't mate like humans. The best thing that he said, you have to choose a mate that is gonna elevate you, that's gonna bring about your purpose, bring into existence what you here for. And the number one thing is we don't ask the question, why are we here?
Come on
What
now.
are we here to do? What are we here to accomplish? And if I'm finding a mate because he's cute or she's cute, then I will never be satisfied with the mate, because cute falls away. It falls away. So if I'm here for a higher purpose for God, if I'm here to lift up his people, if I'm here to do business, if I'm here to do whatever God put me here, is my mate in line with exactly what God brought me here for? Or is my mate in line with, oh, he cute, oh, she cute? So the problem is we have learned how to mate like animals. We sniff a little bit, it smells good, and we happy with that feeling for the moment. That's that temporary feeling, that temporary access to, oh, it made me feel good. So I just want to just say, one last thing, Romans 7, the struggling of sin, because minister goes into it when we goes into our study. God, I've been really going deep into my studies. One thing he said, you have to gain discipline by gaining consistency. I'm gonna say that one again. You have to gain discipline by gaining consistency, meaning doing a thing over and over and over again, until it becomes one, not just habitual. You understand? So we find ourselves mentally doing the wrong things over and over again, and it becomes habit, or becomes our character, or becomes a part of us. But what if we, one at a time, we start doing consistent things for God? I'm going to my prayer rug today 5 times this day. I'm doing do it tomorrow 5 times this day. I'm not going to eat that meat because I know the minister already didn't give us a consistency and say, get off that meat. That was divine law. No more meat. So you know what? For this day, I'm just going to focus on this day right here. I'm going to let go of that meat. I'm going to let go of this. I'm going to let go of that. That's that discipline. That's that discipline, doing stuff consistently. With the I am at work, so y'all gotta excuse me. But with that being said, I'm done. May Allah continue to bless you all. Assalamu alaikum.
Ooh, Sister Jamie. Teaching, ain't she, boy? Ooh-wee. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Praise be to Allah. See? But that's what I was talking about. If you don't know what you're here for, how do you know if the person is good for you or not? How do we know? If the minister says that she must not just marry the man, but she must marry the mission. You know, I seen something from the minister the other day, and the minister was talking about marriage, and I don't know where the post is now. But I said Messiah versus the world. And I heard Brother Nuri, and that was my first time watching the whole thing with Brother Nuri too, by the way. And he said that he told himself, I will not allow my self-image or my perception to be shaped by non-scriptural concepts. Yesterday we had a Twitter space, and it was about like our what was it? Our gurus causing divorce, our date doctors out of date. I think that was the title. And we was talking about, just people who give advice who ain't been married, or people who've been married and then alone man before. And my feedback was, whether if a person is married or not, I would listen to them. But I'm listening for my Father's voice. I'm listening for the word of God. And is the scripture the base of it? And the reason I say that is because we listen to business people who done have failed businesses. See, I'm not under the impression because somebody got multiple divorces or somebody been married 3 times, 4 times, they can't teach me nothing. They can teach me. They can teach me some mistakes that they made. They can teach me some insight that somebody who ain't never been through that don't have. You just reading from a book. They can tell me how they was thinking 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 years ago versus how they thinking now, and the different results that they have by changing their thinking. So how is it that I can learn from somebody who had multiple failed businesses and we big that up? Oh yeah, they went down bankruptcy and they built it up again. They failed and that mean they learned something. That means that there are some lessons that they've learned, and there's something that they can teach me how to avoid. I think it's just me personally. I think it's still value in them. long as the principles that they have is not rooted in their emotions. Like, I'm upset with women, so let me spew hateful stuff about women. I'm upset with men, so I'm gonna spew out of emotion. Long as it's rooted in God and the principles, I believe I can receive it from anybody. See what I'm saying? So, but you know, I just think that once you know yourself, and you know what I come to find out, I'm just coming to the conclusion. Ain't nothing, it's all right or wrong. I really want y'all feedback. Is there really a right or wrong? Like, if a man, because Sister Jamie just said, the man is born for business. The man is born for this. Is the man wrong for being born to do what he doing? Hold on, don't answer yet. I'm getting my thoughts out. Because there's some men who don't have a big mission. Is he wrong for not having a big mission? Is the other man wrong for having a big mission? And there are, some men ain't as affectionate as other men. Is this man bad for not being as affectionate versus this other guy? Is he bad for being so affectionate? Now, context here, before anybody take my words out of context, I'm not saying just be whoever you are. I am the way I am, and people don't have room for growth. That's not what I'm saying. But Brother Nuri here up at the top said, after choosing God, choosing the right one, that means there's a possibility of choosing the wrong one. Sister Jamie just said that there are, some men are born, some women may be born for certain stuff. And I'm just, I'm just coming to this thought. And when I say this ain't even just got to be marriage. This can be a business relationship. Two partners getting it together and building a business, and they looking at each other's traits. So this ain't always marriage. Could it be you just the wrong partner? Could that be a thing? Could it be that you never finna get this brother to do what you trying to get him to do? Could it be that you never finna get this sister to help you the way that you need her to help you? Could that be a possibility? And if that's a possibility, is that wrong? It don't mean that brother's is a bad brother. It don't mean that sister is, you just a horrible sister. She may be the perfect sister for another brother. Oh, brother may love her to death. So, I'm just thinking, man, when he says right, and Sister Jamie says, some people, and the minister said, if the woman is a helpmeet, naturally, the man is a provider, naturally. The man may be providing, one man may be providing to a certain extent, and this woman may love to help him do what he do, but she may not love to help the next man do what he do. So if the woman is naturally, and I'm just thinking, and I may be wrong, so please, if I'm saying anything that y'all disagree with, challenge me. I'm just getting my thoughts out. But if the woman is made to be a helpmeet, the man is made, by nature, he's a provider, maintainer, and all this, right? If she don't want to help him, and he is a provider, she just may be with the wrong guy, because she may find another guy who do something totally different, and she help him like a mug. He may be a provider, and in his mind, man, I'm a provider. I'm doing this, I'm doing that, and what, X, Y, and Z. Doesn't mean that they don't have room for growth. I feel like Jesse when he be like, not all, but most. Not all, but most. But to another sister, he may be, he's just such a provider. I love the way that he provides. But for another woman, he ain't S word. You know how we do. He ain't. But he, you know. So that's my thoughts. I want y'all to, give me some feedback on that, because I'm just thinking about it, man. With so many people in the world and in these bad relationships, are the individuals just that bad? Is it that bad? Is the business relationship that bad? Or is it, hey man, we just don't, like, you may be with a creative. Dude don't like all them meetings and structure. And here you is, I need you to let me know at a certain time. I need you to let me know a week in advance. This person may not, they just spontaneous with it. They come up with their best ideas on the fly. But if you a partner who needed to be, okay, we need to talk about it. We need to do checks and balances. We need to have a checklist. It don't mean that brother is bad. It don't mean that you're bad because you're a systematic type of person. It don't mean that y'all bad people. It just may be that y'all not the match right now. Could that be it? Do it have to be that this nigga is a HAN and nigga F you and nigga you will never be nothing? Do it gotta be that? No, I don't think it gotta be that. So that's just my thought process, okay? I'm through. Let's go to next person. Let's go to Sister Yatira.
I mean, he's so funny. All right, family.
You know how we do.
Hold on. Sir, I had to take some notes on this thing right here. So before I get into everything that I was going to say, the first thing I want to start with is you, Brother Ben. Listening to you speak and starting with that Instagram post that you put inside of the Powerful and app, I was reading the caption. I didn't even get to listen to all the videos yet, but I was just reading your caption and then listening to you this morning. I said, okay, I got to say this. Brother Ben, part of your gift that I'm seeing about you, like you're great with the work that you do, whatever we call that, getting the word out, sharing this, this and the third. I said, but you just shared with us that you just started auditing, right? I mean, this was last week. So, and in this like 7 days, what you have been studying and learning. Let me read what I wrote. I said, Brother Ben, part of your gift is your ability to get involved in something and quickly use it and apply it and share it in a way that both helps other people to understand it, bring an awareness to them, but also to inspire them to do it and use it themselves. People people all around us have used Dianetics or using Dianetics, and can be our neighbor, can be a sister that we talk to on the regular, brother we talk to on the regular. But you will literally get involved in this thing, and now, I mean, you coming back with the different examples, the explanations of things, using it like right now in applicable terms that makes a person like myself say, dang. I mean, I've been knowing this, but like, you put it back on the mind for some of us, we even heard about it or, maybe have fallen off in doing it or whatever. But it's just something about the way that you get involved in something and how quickly you just make it like you make things current events. Okay. That's a real beautiful thing that you do. I just had to share that.
Praise be to Allah. Thank you.
Praise be to Allah. Yes, sir. So to your question, then I'm getting to it since Jamie said, because Jamie was on here teaching. Okay, so to your question about the Helpmate, I think that was a beautiful question. And my answer to that is, like you said, no, I don't think that there's no wrong. I will say that it depends. I think because the context of all of that matters, and I'll just give these kinds of examples. I said that it depends on the development of each individual, meaning that one person may only be at a bare minimum operative level. Therefore, they're looking for a bare minimum operative person as well. If I may be here to do a great thing, but right now, as I heard the minister say, I may just be a scientist, so-called, in the flush
techniques. I'm developing flush techniques. That's where I'm using my expertise at. And in doing so, I'm not looking for a mate that's going to help me develop into the God that I really am. I'm just looking for somebody to have my coffee ready for me in the morning so I can leave out with coffee in my cup. So I'm not looking for the self-improvement aspect in which really the mates help each other with. You know what I'm saying? Me and my husband, like we'll have this conversation, and the minister has, he used an example. I think he was talking about Brother Khalid, and I forget what lecture it is, but he was talking about how he needs help. And in that context, the minister being a guided missile, when help comes to him, he ultimately is telling the help what he needs done. We need this done. We need to go here. We need to establish this, that, and the third. People might come and say, oh, well, I think you need to do this with the nation. I think you need to do. That's not the kind of help that the minister needs. And he has given us the word. He needs doers to come up and do what has been said. Make his word bond. That's what he needs. Now, in marriage, it's important to understand the role aspect, and kind of touching on to what Brother Nuri said, the love really, when you love, that helps. It's like love and law. The role, you can call that a law, right? Like, this is my role. And then the love, when love is present, you don't like need law. When true love, when it's really love, not just that, oh, I'm infatuated with you. I think you're cute. I got you on my arm. I'm talking about what real love is. So with that being said, the helpmate, a lot of times a man might say, oh, I got my mission. This is what I need you to do, and you just do this. I say, well, really, what is a helpmate in regards to a woman? Back to Sister Jamie's point, dealing with self-improvement. Dang, that was just so powerful. The woman, she is the helpmate to who? She is God's woman. So the woman is the helpmate to God to do what? With her husband. Well, she has a role to help her husband not just do the things that he has in his mind to do. That is a part of it. But because she's the woman of God, she has to help God make her husband the man that God intends for him to be. That's self-improvement on another level, because now as the woman, 75% of the work is with the woman. The minister said that Mother Khadijah, but that she had, in other words, helped to rebirth him. She had to, from her class, from her studies, she had to take plenty and wisely and intelligently and divinely help her husband in the ways that she did throughout the intimacy of their marriage. She had to suffer things and help him develop and be almost reborn again to be the man that we see. She had a role in that. So there is that level of, suffering, and there's a level of, that trial, basically, but she had to go through that. So that same component of the woman that, yes, sir, I am here to serve you, but because I am the woman of God, all that has to be coupled in. And so my closing part to this question is, when the man, because if the man has it all figured out, you don't need the woman. You know what I'm saying? If you just telling me, okay, I need you to I need you to iron my clothes and cook my food and do that. But I also, at this day, at this time, I need you to say this to me to activate my self-improvement. No, that's not how she works. You know what I'm saying? It's when a woman is in communication with God through her prayer, through her study, she can better see, okay, my husband, he's going through something. There's a change that he's going through, because she's doing her work, her self-improvement. And again, being in communication with her God, she can say, okay, right now, your ego is real present right now. I don't need you to tell me that my ego. No, yes, you do. That's what you need me to do. You may not be able to tell me as your wife how to do the thing, but as your wife, in my connection to the God, That's what I'm here to do, to help you be who he intends for you to be. Okay, so I'll leave that there. Let me go to the other two things that I had wrote down from the lecture, the conversation, the Nuri. Brother Nick Cannon, he said, people are hard to trust. That's what he said. And then he started speaking about himself later on and saying how, well, I don't do X, Y, and Z. And I said, because when I hear people say, people are hard to trust, that never resonates with me. I never am like, yeah, you right about that. Because I don't even think like that. Why? Because in my view of myself, I'm a trustworthy person. So because we see perception is a real thing, though. We see through the lens of our own thinking. So therefore, if I know that I am not, trustworthy, or I am not, okay, it's under the cabinet. If I know that I am a trustworthy person, then when I meet other people, I'm expecting the same thing. I don't have a reason to think, oh, you're lying when you say this to me. Oh, you don't mean it, because that's not how I operate. And he exposed that as he continued to talk, because that's when he started to say, like, oh yeah, because I don't do, or and he talked about lust. That was my other point to that it's not out. He said lust is, lust is out there. And when he said, I said, no, lust is in there. It's really in here. It's inside. And then how we are, that's what we see out there. You know what I'm saying? Because really it's the mind talk. I think that was it. Let's see. Oh, Sister Jamie. Let me just close with Sister Jamie. When she brought up how to give birth to a God, because I absolutely love that lecture series. We listen to that every single night. But what I wanted to say to that point, because when she said it, I said, wow, how to give birth to a God, for her to highlight what the minister said about those lectures. I said, because how to give birth to a God, it is literally a self-improvement lecture. Because think about it, as a woman and as a man too, because there is that the womb of the mind, right? And so men and women come together. What is in the mind of the man? So if you want to produce a God, like he said, we hitting and missing sometimes with our children, right? But Mary hit. So how do we hit? Well, Joseph was present too. So what is in the mind of us? If our minds are less than God, then that's what we will produce. So to give birth to a God, if I want to, in those lectures, he talks about these different women. I think it was the white woman he used, there might have been an Asian woman that he talked about how they what was it? She studied something. I don't know if it was architecture in that particular one, but whatever it was that it might have done something to do with music. But the mother studied this particular subject, and her child became a genius in that. So that hit me when Sister Jamie brought that up. In order for me to make my child something, I have to be it first. Right? So in the mind of both the male and female, though, it is more heavily on the woman, because the minister has said that too, because the woman is now dealing with two minds, two wombs, the womb of the mind and her physical womb. So the woman can be given a seed from a man that is not great, and she can still make great of it with the law, with the help of Allah. So that's basically that. I think that was great. Great question though. Praise be to Allah. Assalamu alaikum.
You muted, Brother Ben. You muted.
Oh, my bad. Thank you. I was looking at some quotes that I had of the minister speaking on relationships, and the minister said, you have to find out what's wrong with his mind, women. All you need to do is deal with his head. You have to ask questions. Don't get uptight if you know he had a hard day. You have to find a way to get it, but you ought to ask questions. He's talking about the role of a consoler. Then he said, where's the longer quote? There's a longer quote. He said that according to the Bible, Allah God did not desire the man to be alone. Therefore, he created from a single essence the man and the woman, but he created the woman for the man. The word that is used in the Bible is helpmeet, not helpmate, by the way. The female, according to the Bible, is created by Allah God to help the man meet the obligation that Allah God has put within the nature of the male. So, our study group coordinator says there is hell in the house because the man is the head of the woman, but Christ is not his head. So if Christ isn't the man's head, is she created to help a fool? Is she made to help him do just any old foolish thing? Or does it say to help meet the obligation that Allah God has put within the nature of the male? See, because some of us, I'm the man of the house. Anything I say goes. The minister said, truth is the boss. Truth is the boss. So if you want the woman to help you, but there's some self-development we have to do to make sure that we are striving to meet the obligation that Allah has put in us, and that we're following and building his world and doing his will to get that type of help. See? They say if you want a Mother Khadijah, you got to strive to be a Farrakhan. All them big shoes to fill, that boy. The minister in Know Your Role talks about the role of the man. You got to have money, he said. You got to maintain. He says if you look in the ceiling and you see some peeling, it's the maintenance. That's her head. For your children, that's their head. That's they. You seeing something, you gotta go produce something to maintain it, but not just physically, but mentally and spiritually as well. I also heard the minister say, the man said, I'm gonna pray for her. He said, nigga, please. Y'all seen that? Y'all seen that, didn't you? Nigga, please. You better move out the way, take her to God and leave her there. So a part of that, a part of our role is to get her to God, direct her to God, not to me, not to you. It's to get her to, hey, Allah, Allah, Allah. What did the Honorable Elijah Muhammad say to Mother Tanetta? What are we going to do? She asked the Honorable Elijah Muhammad in his departure. Anybody remember what he said? What did he say?
Seek refuge in Allah.
Seek refuge in him?
No.
Oh, I thought you said, no, seek refuge in Allah. So if we both have Allah at the forefront of the mind and we're striving to please Allah, in pleasing, if it's kind of like this is how I'm looking at it. When you make a computer or you make a device or you come up with some, they typically have instructions. See, I got this oil right here. Look, Burt's Bees Mama Body Oil, Vitamin E. On the back of it, it got instructions. Look at this. Caution. Shower or tub may be slippery after use. See, it knows its best uses. What you make, you can read on the back of it and it tell you how to best use that thing. You can take you some medicine and say, take you 2 doses. You take one in the evening, you take one in the morning, 4 hours apart. It don't say, here you go, take them whenever you feel bad. Nuh-uh. It say, hey, and then it say, you might want to eat it on you don't want to have an empty stomach. It know how to best. See, so if God is making us, he know how to best have us as a companion. Who best to know than he who created us? So we as the man, we have to be striving for something. So look at what it said. He said the Quran teaches us that Allah God created. Now what? Now look at this. This is the minister's words now. Listen carefully. The Quran, he made the man to be the provider, maintain mentally, spiritually, things of that. We got our role. Outside of that, when we're not doing that, that causes trouble. And when a woman not doing what she doing, that causes trouble. So he says the Quran teaches us that Allah God created the woman as the consoler of the man. This teaches us that in the very of the man that is striving to be a man, that's striving to fulfill and, live up. Because I already know women, when I'm quoting this quote, you saying, well, brother Ben, it's easy for you to say. So I'm trying to make sure I'm balancing it out so that devil that's slinking in you saying that nigga, he just saying that. Okay, anyway, I just wanted to clear that up. Okay, the Quran teaches that teaches us that Allah God created the woman as the consoler of the man. This teaches us that in the very nature of the female is her ability, desire, and will to console. Let's look up the word console. Console means to alleviate or lessen the grief, sorrow, or disappointment of, give solace or comfort, cheer up. And then he says, Allah God teaches us in the Quran that he created the woman that the man might find peace and quiet of mind in her. The very nature of the female offers to the man that which enables the man to find that natural relief of the stress or the pain involved in the struggle of man to obey God's instructions. There go the balance. Read that last sentence again. The very nature of the female offers to the man that which enables the man to find that natural relief of the stress or the pain involved in, it didn't say selling drugs, involved in playing, it didn't say playing video games, it didn't say playing basketball, it didn't see all of stuff, it's clear. Stress or the pain involved in the struggle of the man to obey Allah God's instructions. So I believe when we do that, the man do his role, striving to do his role, the woman striving to do her role, and of course the friendship involved. I think it's stated that you first have motion, then you have order. This is the order. This is the order. This is the laws that kind of keep everything in place, kind of like that thing at Six Flags where it says, hey man, you got the little lever down and you can't take the lever and say I'm free spirit, I don't want to do it. You got to have it because it's trying to keep you in place. This, I think, keeps us in place. There's other things as well, obviously, but these basic laws keep us in place of why he said we are created. Now, if we acting other than why we are created as the man and the woman, then it's going to malfunction. TV going to be off. The game ain't going to be working properly. The car ain't going to be working. It's going to malfunction because we're not using it properly. So just want to share that. And another thing that Brother Nuri stated is you did not marry the man of your dreams. The man of your dreams is inside the man that you married. That tells me, and he said vice versa, that tells me two things can be true. One, since he said choosing the right one, the minister said, or he said choosing the right one, that means that there is a wrong one. That is a possibility that there is a wrong one. But there's also a possibility that the right one is in the one that you have. And it may take, and it's going to take self-development to mind the person out. And what I've come to learn is if it's going to take self-development to mind the person out, pointing the finger is taking me backwards versus forward. Because if it says mind the person out, it didn't say wait and watch him be mined out. It didn't say wait and watch her be mined out. It didn't say give it 4 years, 7 years, 8, 10 years and watch him be mined out. It said mine them out. Then he said, well, what is the process of mining? You got to put your hard hat on and gentle. Go in gentle. How many of us are gentle? Or, damn, you still ain't cleaned up? Damn, when we gonna, you ain't cooked in a week. That ain't gentle. That's not gentle. The way that the woman addressed the man, is it gentle? Or is it, let me say it in a way that I know gonna sting him. Oh, I know this will sting him here. Ooh, if I say it in this type of manner. When you gonna just be a man? Damn, you know what that'll do? All right, I'll show you a man, all right. That's what we really be wanting to say. Okay, goddamn it, I'll show you a man. See, that's why the minister said, he said, what the minister said, let me show you something. See, sisters, I know y'all got all the clips of the minister when he's talking, he get on us, he get on the man. We feel it, we feel it. Oh, you got to be a man. And he tell us what we got to do better. And brother, you got to be there. You got to provide, brother. You can't, but watch this. I bet you don't know this one right here. Why, let me see. Hold on. Oh, I got one for you. Come on, brother. I got your back, brothers. Hold on. Oh, because they got the clips for us, boy. They got the clips where the minister is whooping our backside. And we got to take it now. We got to take it. We got a lot of improvement. But he also said,
force the man to get into debt when you know debt is slavery, just so you could look good for a minute and suffer when you can't pay the bills? Who are you trying to please?
See, so the man, yeah, we gotta make the money and we gotta be able to provide and do that. But look, Brother Nuri said, well, sister, sometimes you gotta be okay with an okay bag versus an MK bag for now, okay? Don't force the man to go in all the debt, okay? You may need to get the okay bag versus the MK bag.
Start small and grow large, like everything else does. But if you want everything right away, you don't want to work for nothing. You don't want to sacrifice to build nothing. You will never have nothing, and you won't have a man, because a man can't be a man when he's saddled down up to his neck in debt with a dissatisfied woman who don't give a damn. She want more and more and more. Let me tell you something, woman. You'll never be a happy woman dogging your man out. He's not a man yet, but he will be. But if you keep on dogging him, you won't have nothing.
It's not too late.
Ooh, you won't have nothing. I think the end of that said, you'll end up being a lesbian with yourself. I said, ooh. See, pull that clip out, boy. So no, gentle. Brothers, we can't go in and goddamn it. And the minister said, well, maybe you ain't had time for her. You know, you're always so busy working. She don't want to take a bath. Now, damn. Okay, let me give another balance, because he did say that. The woman don't even want to take a bath. She ain't bathing. He said, I know what I'm hearing. Oh, you don't have time for her. You haven't, such and such. So yeah. So no, brother, we got something that there's a way to mine it out of her. But if self-improvement is what brings it out, I can't keep talking about you is you if I'm the minor. If I'm the doctor, how can I keep blaming my patient? You. I want you to be, you gotta be better. I'm supposed to help you be better, but I keep blaming you as the doctor. It ain't never me. I'm the minor, but it ain't never, it's always how hard it is. See? Now look at this. I'm gonna end with this because I know I've been going, but let me end with this right here. And the reason I'm playing this is The reason I'm playing this is because there are relationships for men and women where you begin to lose your own self-worth because of the other person. See, oftentimes it's talked about for men. Women got women groups, they got their group chats, and it's all, the man, these men, and y'all got to support. Brothers, we ain't got too many support groups like that. Cause we don't want to, we don't want to say, I'm really broken. Man, my spirit, I'm really broken. Brother ain't gonna say I'm broke. Brother, you good? Yes, sir. Fine, sir. No, bad, sir. Hell, I'm not finna. Yeah, fine. You be talking about fine, sir. Boy, in shambles. Heart just broke as it can be. Talking about I'm cool. I'm straight. I can't call it. Oh, you can call it, all right. Oh, you can call it. So for the brothers who ain't gonna say it. Oh, I know you be feeling a certain type of way sometimes because your woman don't never tell you how good you are and how handsome you is and boy, I see you working and I see you improving. It's always bad, and you're feeling bad and your self-worth is going down in your mind. Same with the women. Your self-worth, you think you ain't worth enough. You think you're not valuable no more. You think I just need him and I can't be without him. And the man is saying, I can't be without her. I don't know what I would be. That ain't the Messiah. That ain't Messiah thinking. Let me play it for you. Listen to this.
Can go out of here tonight or any other time that you come and see some value, more value in yourself, where you fall in love with you and that you don't need nobody outside of you to establish your value. And you don't need no man to establish your value, woman, where you make yourself a whore for a man, where a man can take you and use you because without him you say you don't have no value. What kind of damn fool woman have you become? Telling Sister Ava, I can't live without you. Who the hell is she that you can't live without her? She ain't God.
Come on.
When I hear a damn fool talking like that, I want to choke you till your tongue fall out. Not because you are disrespecting Sister Ava. I want to choke the hell out of you because you disrespect yourself and God. And
Woo-wee. Is the minister teaching man? So no, don't be running around here. You ain't taking care of yourself. You ain't, cause the man, listen, man. You got value. No, you got value. That person may not see it. They may not see it, but you got value. So don't strive not to, you're not taking showers. You done stop brushing your teeth. You done stop doing things that make you happy. You got to do stuff that make you happy. And I'm going to close with this and I'm through because I know I'm ranting. You know what I said? If I'm not willing to make me happy, because I had stopped playing basketball for a long period of time. And I started to realize, bro, that's still your release. That's a part of your release. Ain't nothing wrong with you playing basketball. You know what I mean? Ain't nothing wrong with you. That's why I got back to hooping. I had stopped playing. I just found myself working. I'm just working. But I forgot that, don't put your release down. Ain't no wrong with, having a release here and there. So if I'm not willing to be good to myself, if I'm not willing to make myself happy, I should feel bad to talk about somebody else needs to be making me happy. Am I wrong for thinking that? Like how am I gonna get mad at you because you ain't making me happy, but I'm not even making me. I done stopped doing what make me happy. See, so for some brothers, you play video games and that make you happy. That winds you down. Man, if you working and providing, bro, and playing video games is what you like to do, bro, man, play that Call of Duty, boy. Now don't overdo it now. But man, if you just stop doing how can you be like, man, they don't make me happy? You don't make yourself happy. You don't we be mad because people don't keep their word. Well, you said you were going to do this on Thursday. You said once I start doing it, you're going to start. You don't even keep your word with yourself. Here you is. All right, brother, we're gonna start working out on January 1st. We're gonna get swole. This is what I used to tell myself. January 1st, I'm going to the gym. I'm finna get swole on them boys. I ain't been to the gym. I ain't been to the gym 2 weeks straight. Consistently. See? Oh, I'm finna start eating better. I'm finna get disciplined. And then you lie to yourself. You don't keep your word with yourself. So could it be that you're really so mad with the other person that's not keeping their word with you because you're not keeping your word with yourself? See, self-improvement, man. I've been learning everything coming back to self. Everything that we so pissed off about everybody else, it's up inside of me. I don't like doing it. I'm really mad at myself. So this relationship stuff is deep. Whoo, this stuff is deep. And I ain't the best at it. That's why I'm going so I'm learning like a mug. I'm learning because just sometimes you feel like I just can't get this stuff straight. Yeah, I say I ain't perfect. Yeah. So I'm like, I can't. It's you. You got to keep working on you. You got to keep learning. You got to keep growing your mind. You got to keep striving and growing. It's a lot. So I look back at myself. I say, oh boy, you done came a long way though, boy. Ooh, you done came a long way. You done came a long way, but it's still a lot of work that got to be done. And it's and a lot of time we looking at the online sensational stuff on podcast clips, and it sounds so good when the woman is going in and she telling how it should be, and the man is going in and he talking about how it should be, and everybody like, yeah, I ain't got no man, and she saying, well, yeah, you ain't got. Man, you don't know how they is behind the scenes. You don't know. They get offline, taking the good pictures, and they just did the podcast, doing the points, and go right back to arguing like a mug. They be arguing, but you know, when they get monetization, now it become a job. I get paid to say what I'm saying now, but you don't know they struggling with the same thing you may be struggling with. Now here you is judging your man, you judging your woman. Come on, man, y'all know this going on, man. You looking at the clips and you like, damn, I sure wish, mine was like that. And then she saying, I like that one. And you know how we do the speaker face. You the little emoji with the speaker, you ain't saying, that's right, I wish you say that to my man. No, but they just put the emoji, speak. Y'all know how it is. The man, that's right. Go ahead, teach. See? You comparing. But this person that's only their representative. That's all that is. That's their representative. They go back and they struggle with it too. You got people talking about business and how you can make $1 million. They ain't doing it every month. They struggle too. They got downtime. They ain't gonna share that with you. So I'm just saying all this stuff, man, play into our minds and play into why we are the way that we are. And we think it's just this cookie cutter thing. Oh, it's a lot of little variables in this thing. Okay, let's go to Sister Gina.
Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum salam.
Yes, Brother Ben, I just love the way you've been coming up with the Dianetics part of it. Yeah, because I know it's very important, especially when you're married, and it's important that both of you go through it. I dealt with a couple years ago, and only the wife went through it, and they ended up splitting up, and the minister had mentioned that when we first started Dianetics. And so it's very.
He mentioned what exactly? I'm sorry. He mentioned what exactly?
He mentioned that both people need to go through the Dianetics. Yes, because if one does and one doesn't, it's a strong possibility that you will break up because this one is getting better and the other one is just staying the same. Wow. You understand what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So, that's very, very important. And I'm thinking as I'm listening and we're talking about the art of mating, I'm saying it not just with us as brothers and sisters, man and woman, but it also has to do with the relationships in your family. Because that can be just as taxing as a relationship between a man and woman, especially when it comes to your children. So, it's a lot of parts to this, the art of mating, yes, but then it goes deeper than just mating, if you understand what I'm saying. And my question was, I wrote down when Brother Nuri was talking was, so what in hell if you're not in a relationship yet Yet how do you stay healthy and age gracefully? Because he has said a bad relationship can make you age not ungraceful, and a good relationship makes you, age very nice and so forth and so on. And like he said, that him and his wife are friends, not just husband and wife. So I mean, that's just a question I'm putting out for anybody. Because I that just came across my mind when he was speaking. Because I am single. And I've been single. I mean, I've been through a couple bad relationships before I came to the nation. The last one I was in for 17 years. And then I came to the nation, and that just nullified everything. But one of the reasons I stayed was because I had felt so in love with this brother, and he got married on me because he was lying to me the whole time. And I stayed in it until I had no more feeling. It was just something I needed to take myself through, even though it was years. But that's what it took for me to be able to walk away. And when I walked away, then all of a sudden he wanted to do all this big change. And I'm like, no, no, no. And my other one was my father's son. He was abusive. So I left him. And, I haven't been with anybody since I came into the nation. So, and because I'm looking, I want, not looking, but I want something different. I don't want what I had before. And I feel like when it's time, Allah will give my mate to me. I'm looking for somebody that's like-minded, that we can grow together. We help each other. And nobody's perfect, but the fact of the matter is that if you keep trying, and like you said, like Brother Nuri said, that person that might be for you, because everybody is not for you, even though, they're not bad people. You just may not have enough in common or whatever, to work it out. So that's just my thoughts and my comments.
Thank you for sharing that, and thank you for your transparency. I would say that if I was to answer that question, I heard the minister, and I believe we played it one time on a power call in response to Sister Melva. And he said, have that relationship with God. See, because ultimately, the real center of the relationship should be the man having a relationship with God and a woman having a relationship with God. And those two people come together as godly men and women. And that's what I think what will make them truly like-minded. You know what I found, what I discovered over the past couple of years in business? You can be like-minded as in you want to help black people, I want to help black people. You want to teach a skill set, I want to teach a skill set. But what I believe keeps things sustainable is we like-minded in values, we like-minded in spirit, we like-minded in the intangible things. Those are the intangible things is what sustains what's seen. The minister says everything that is seen is backed by an unseen power. You see the sun, you see the moon, but you don't see the unseen power that is the law behind that. So I'm saying that to say when I would say for me, the more I'm learning and growing in this wisdom, learning more about my mind, freeing my mind up from some of the weight that was on my shoulders, I feel like I'm becoming younger. I've been feeling lighter a little lately, a little lighter. The minister talks about we all need life repair that they offer with the technology. What I read and what I heard is that the purification that they have, when you go through the purification process and you in that sauna and you taking the vitamins and those chemicals is coming out of you and those things is coming out of you mixed with the auditing that he talks about that's casting out the demons that's within us. They talk about you feeling like you going back to the age of 20. I said, wow, that sounds familiar. He says that we'll go back to the age of 16. that's younger. So I think the first step to us feeling younger or making us more youthful, the minister talks about youthful in spirit. He's older, he's our elder, but he's on time because of his spirit. See? I heard the minister say, don't nothing make me happy. See, now this is the part where the minister said, you see a man up here talking and preaching and you say, oh, he's a wonderful guy, and he is, but he may not be so wonderful for you. He said, because naturally a woman wants to help a man who's doing the work of God. Naturally, they want to help. But when you get behind the scenes, may not be so wonderful for you. He said, don't nothing make me happy like when I'm coming up. He said, not no one. He said, when I'm speaking, I become alive when I get on this rostrum. He says, when I'm teaching and I'm doing the will of God and my purpose, I feel, I forgot how he put it. He said, you can't even see my age. Well, when the Nuri says a good relationship will bring the best out of you. Well, what he didn't. Yeah, he was talking about this relationship, but what about if it also includes your relationship with God? And when you actively in your purpose, when somebody is really in harmony with their purpose, don't they look more alive? Don't they look more youthful compared to a person who don't got a good relationship with God and not following their purpose and not within their will, and they don't know what they want to do? Don't they look gloomy? Don't they look just dead? Don't they look like they just nonchalant? Don't they? You know what I mean? You can tell a person who just the way they walk. Oh, they on point. They after something. Man, that's you moving. So I believe before you get a man and before we get a woman, it's that relationship that we have with the God that'll keep us youthful. And then when we get the right woman that marries that, and you get the right man that marries that, and y'all in harmony, you helping him, and you in love with what he doing. You love helping him. Then that'll make you more youthful with your youthful that you already have with your relationship with God. That would be my answer. Yeah, it sounded like you were trying to say something. Somebody said, Brother Ben.
Yes, sir, I was. It's Sister Jean again, because you brought to mind also, and I apologize for not being able to have my camera on, but you brought back to mind something also, because I'm okay. Like I said, I'm single and I've been for a long time, but I'm okay because I feel when it's my time, Allah will bring that particular person to me. But until then, Allah is my husband, and I'm fine with that. I'm satisfied. I'm not bitter, and I thank Him for allowing me, after the relationships I've been in, to still want to be married and want to love somebody, and not, and that's not the reason why I haven't been with anybody. I got married again. It's not because I got hurt so bad that I just don't want to be bothered anymore. No, it's not that at all. I'm a companion type person, and I'm still, I still want a companion. I still want that other half to work towards being one.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Sister Dawn. Somebody said, I think my comment on polygamy and the problem of same-sex marriage was deleted, and I have sleep and overlooked it. My comment was relevant because Brother Bennett. Oh, I don't know. I haven't been looking in the chat, so I don't know. Sister Dawn.
Yeah, Assalamu alaikum. Sister Dawn here. I'm here from the UK, actually. And what I would say to you, Sister Gina, is that it is your nature to desire a mate. So, Allah knows best, sister. What I would say from the conversation and what I'm listening to is, it makes me think that there's different levels to this, because not some of us are going to. I've got married to a brother who was previously married, so it's not. It's my first marriage, but his second marriage. So there's children involved from previous marriage and children involved from my previous relationship. It also made me think that when we come into the teachings, we come in from all walks of life, from all different traumas and backgrounds and experiences, which affects us. And when we come into the teachings, we're learning about ourselves. The brothers in his class, sisters in his class, we're hearing things for the first time that ignites us, lets us know what it is to be a woman, what it means to love yourself. And that is a journey in of itself. So when we get together as a man and a woman, we're bringing a lot of that baggage and a lot of that issues from our past, if they're not being resolved, into the relationship. When we learn about what it is, what the nature of the man and the nature of the woman is, and what we're supposed to do to meet each other needs in the relationship, if you haven't dealt with those baggages from the past, you're actually bringing them into the relationship. And then when the relationship is now out of its honeymoon stage, now we're into that discourse where we no longer got the patience or the tolerance with each other. We're now striking at each other or things. And all that is all your past stuff is coming up. We haven't took the time to really get to know each other and what's gone on in our lives. And it made me think about the courtship process, because the courtship process is there for a reason. And it's not to be overlooked, because courtship is exactly that. You're actually trying to find out where you and the brother is at and how you're going to bring your lives together. And one of the things, because I work as a therapist with people, and one of the things is that people, when they get lost through trauma, life experience, they often don't know what their values are. They don't know their worth. They don't know who I am. And that's part, for me, the MGT is about helping us as sisters to get acquainted with ourselves, lining ourselves up with what Allah wants for us as sisters. So when we are choosing a mate for herself, we should have a criteria. But oftentimes, as on the video, brother was saying, he's succumbed to his lower desires, that sometimes we just have a need to want to be with somebody, be in a relationship, be out of the condition that we're in. Then when we're in the relationship now, we have an expectation that the other person is there to fix you, you see, and not that you're there to fix yourself. It also made me think about happiness. And you just mentioned that, Brother Ben. You got to be happy with yourself first. You got to like you. You can't expect of another human being of something you don't desire and want for yourself. So you have to go on a journey of finding you. Find what you like. What are your needs? How are you meeting those needs for yourself? So that you can then translate that to meeting the needs of another person. But if both of you have come into the relationship, you're both blind, deaf, and dumb to the needs of each other and yourself, then all we're going to do is aberrate ourselves and make the situation a lot worse. Okay? So one of the things for me is really working on self. That part is the self-improvement part is really where the work is at. Really where the work is. And even when we're in the relationship, you don't have to lose yourself in the relationship. You can continue to learn and grow and develop yourself. You then fall in love even more with the other person because you're watching each other grow and develop right from where you came together. Now you're seeing a difference. But then obviously with myself now, as I said, my husband had children from a previous marriage. I had children from him. We've got to bring that together. So without the communication and the conversation, that doesn't just blend itself together. We've got to know, how are we going to do that? How is that going to work? Yeah, it takes time. It's a process. Okay. And knowing, and the bit I would just say about the values is because when Brother Nuri said this in a previous interview, he says you have to have 70-30%. The 30%, no one's perfect. We've got to work. But if we're not lined up on our values, like for instance, Brother Ben, you said about communication in terms of keeping your word. And if we keep breaking our word, just like a child, if you keep promising the child to do something, eventually the child will give up on you, and then it will start to erode at the spirit of the child because you keep breaking your word. So we have to say, well, communication is a deal breaker for me. See where that fits into the brother's list of values. He may not have any because he didn't even know that it was a thing. He never grew up knowing that there's supposed to be some values here. I'm supposed to have some values for myself. I should have certain things that I should be looking for in a mate and a partner. But because our lower desires take over and the need to want to be with someone, we're quickly to get into the relationship. And then all the other stuff comes apparent in the relationship afterwards. Well, by that time, we're already taking pops. You said push pull? When you say that push pull, you're push pulling at each other. So it is about knowing what you want beforehand. And how you get to know that is because you know what you didn't like in all those relationships that you had that fell apart. So let's work from that and say, well, what is it that you didn't like about the relation? Why didn't it work? What is it did you learn about yourself in that relationship that now I can start to work on myself to adjust those, so that when I have a new relationship, now I can start asking the right questions. And I'll leave it there for now. Assalamu alaikum.
Ooh-wee. Look at that. Man, we got, man, help is in the house, man. Sister said, therapy session I didn't know I needed. That was therapy right there. Man, that's some good stuff, man. We got a lot of knowledge in this thing, man. Wow, she dropped a lot of little gems in there. Let's go to Sister Aina.
Yeah, yes, sir. Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum salam.
Okay, so what I got from Brother Nuri, Minister Nuri, he talked about discipline, and I'm focused on that. In the nation, we say the greater the discipline, the greater the reward, and I be wanting my reward from my Lord. So I'm trying to get discipline in all areas of my life. Um, what helped me and what helps me in my marriage is Honorable Louis Farrakhan had a Vanguard retreat recently. The first one that was given in a long time. It was two so far, but the first one after the COVID, and he did a video and he shared it with all of us. And that video hit home. I suggest every sister get that video. And in that video, even though it's been said before over and over, but just the way he said it this time just really hit with me. And he said, knowing that that we are God's woman. And he says that all the time. But for some reason, it resonated with me. And then I started focusing on that, on making Allah my exclusive object. And in that, all of a sudden, I started seeing a change in my husband where he said sorry maybe once a year. It was automatic, like to the point I had to look at him and say to myself, like, who is this man? And I noticed the more I submit to Allah, the more he submitted. I don't want to say to me because it can't be to me, but he was just doing the things uh, easily or easier than before. I was like, I had to look at this and study this. Um, that's what I noticed. So my goal is to submit to Allah, make him my exclusive object, and everything falls into place. And that's my advice to, us as a family. Dr. Student Minister Sister Ava Muhammad said in her master class, the man needs the woman to show him how to submit to God. And the example I look at is when Honorable Louis Farrakhan first stood up, his wife was already walking up there. She was the first one. And I noticed how, my husband look at me like I don't worry a lot. Like if money is a problem, I know that Allah is going to take care of us. And it was to the point where I was so sure that he said, I'm going to start being like you. You don't worry at all about it. I was like, I sure don't. Okay. Also, um, what else I wrote? It is Oh, when Brother Ben, you were saying that is it a bad relationship? Is there good and bad? I think it's just a lack of knowledge because if I didn't apply the knowledge that I was given to my marriage, I would have been given up. Now we have our down times where, I'll just be like, yeah, I could hand him the divorce papers tomorrow, you know, and then the tides turn just for no reason. And I'm just like, yo, the black man is God. I love him and so forth and so on, you know. But I use the knowledge that I was given through the teachers. I remember Sister Amina Rasul, may Allah forever be pleased with her. She was a captain in the Nation of Islam, one of the greatest captains in the Nation of Islam in New York. I used to drive her to the garment ditches. She used to sew our garments, and so I would ask her. I asked her one time. I said, "Well, how do you know that he loves you?" She told me, "Don't you worry about him loving you. You do all the loving. Don't worry about that." She said, "Don't worry about that. You do all the loving," and that set the foundation for me because even though we argue, I still made that coffee. I still made that dinner. I still made that breakfast. And then that showed him that, yeah, we can disagree, but we still, we're not doing tit for tat. And that just set the groundwork for my marriage. So I hope that's helpful to all of us. And thank you.
I got a rebuttal because I know there's one in somebody's mind. Some woman all in overseas, 3,000 miles away, listening, saying, "So you gonna love him and you don't know if he love you? Give us the wisdom behind that? Because we know they're gonna be like, that's some BS right there."
Yeah, I know. It did sound like BS, when I said it, but it is just true. Like when she said it in my mind, it was it said to me like just keep on doing what I'm supposed to do. Now, if he's hitting me or cheating on me or all that stuff, that's different. But if he's, just being uh not doing what I think he should do and stuff like that. Hold on, he's coming down the steps right now, but he works at night. But anyway, like if he not doing what I asked him to do and stuff like that, I believe that's a different story where I just keep on doing what I do. And I'll say I asked you to do such and so forth. But that all abusive stuff, I think that's a different level and calls for different actions.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, Sister
Oh,
Randisha.
oh,
Oh,
I'm
you
so
had something
sorry.
else?
Yes, yes. I wanted to say this that a lot of us, including ourselves, are damaged, and some of us are damaged more than others. And so, as believers, we have friendships in all walks of life, and I'm talking all walks of life. And I had a friend who, she didn't know her father, and so forth and so on. But her goal, she wasn't in the nation, but her goal, and she said it out her mouth, was to ruin men.
Wow.
Yeah, yeah. And I'm telling you, men are out there who are damaged. I remember Honorable Louis Farrakhan said something pertaining to R. Kelly, where men have problem with their mother. And she would go out there and ruin them. She would have affairs with them and write letters to their wife, mail it to them, use men. And I told her, she was related to my family. I told her, I'm gonna try to find your father, you know, because we're hurting inside, and I just wanted to bring that to the forefront. It happens on the male side and the woman's side, how we get hurt and the men get hurt as well. So I just want us to be careful and mindful.
Mm.
Yeah, yeah, that was heavy. Yeah, I know. I didn't know whether to say it or not, but it's out there, and I know people like that. Yeah.
Yeah, that's deep. The thought that came to my mind is that, man, sometimes we're looking at pain. We're not looking at the person. And it's hard when you're on the receiving end of it. As a redeemer, as if for a while, we're taught to take plenty. We're taught to love our people more than they hate themselves. We're taught to be patient. And the reason why is because they're righteous by nature, wicked only by circumstance. So there are people like that. But what came up in my mind is that that's not really her. That's the pain doing that, and she's just the vehicle. She's just the vessel. She's just the shell that the pain is exercising its pain through. But once the demons and the pain is removed, then she can be who she is by nature. And some people think that's who they are, and some people think that's who they are, but it's not, man. But the person, the catch-22 is that the person must be willing to do the work. The person must be willing to deal with themselves. The person must acknowledge that there is something wrong with me, because some would say there is nothing wrong with me. Something wrong with it. Well, that's how they do me. Well, this is how they do. It's just life. No, it don't have to be. As long as the person is wrapped up in that, man, it's just the pain. You know, you think about yourself and you think about some of the stuff we done, some of the stuff we said, man, you look back and say, dang, that wasn't me. That was the pain. That was the devil working through me. Man, that's deep. We got a lot of work to do. Big fields awaits the wide awake man. Now, what is our methodology of going and helping that, though? That's the thought that comes up in my mind. Like, what do we do as redeemers and saviors who have this knowledge, who learning this, who studying this, who not like that? What do we do to redeem them? What do we put in front of them? See, these is the type of, there got to be a way or method to go after a person like that. Are we thinking about that? Or are we just saying, oh, that's just, like that, as redeemer, this is what we're dealing with. And it get much worse than what you said. It get much worse than that. So somebody got to do it. So we got to study that. We got to study why the mind responds that way. We got to study why a person may react that way. We got to study why, like, man, it's a lot, man, as a person. You got to fix yourself, fix your family, then you got a big old mission. That's a lot, man. Golly, that's a lot, boy. Then you got a new issue that you got to learn to deal with. You got to deal with a brother who he's suicidal. Then you got another sister who this, and you got another brother who that. And then God done put this mission on you to help solve these problems, but then you got these characters inside of you that you got to fit. Then you got your husband that you got to help mind out. Then you got your wife that you got to help mind out. Then you got your children that you got to grow up with. Then you got bills you got to pay. Then you got customers you got to, oh my goodness. Then you got a boss you got to deal with, managers, supervisors. Ooh, this is a lot. So when a person say, I'm bored, how in the hell are you bored? And I just thought, I be feeling like I'm insensitive when I say that. I take it back. I don't feel bad for saying that no more. It's too much improvement for us to have to sit around and say, I ain't got nothing to do. You lying, man. You just lazy. I'm saying it. Call me insensitive. Call me nonchalant. Call me non-understanding. If we got all this work we got to do with ourselves, our people, our families, and we bored. Pick up a book, man. Look at a video. Watch a documentary. Damn, how do we do? I'm getting mad now. Shoot. Look at all this work we got to do with ourselves and clean up and get better and fix my attitude and fix my mind and overcome my trauma and overcome sexual abuse and overcome physical abuse and overcome this. But every day I'm not looking at something, studying something, reading something to make myself better. But we know everything that's going on online. We know everything that's going on with celebrities. We know every other problem that everybody else got. We know about Diddy case. We know about the FBI files. We know about what happened in the hotel room that nobody was in. We figured all that out, but we be bored when it comes. I don't know what to do. I'm just on it. Hey, damn. The fact that we in the condition that we in should be enough inspiration to at least read a book. Watch some, read. If you don't want to feel like reading, at least sit back and listen to an audio podcast or something. How are we bored with nothing to do, with so much to do? Just pick a problem and you can deal with that problem for the next 365 days. So now I don't feel bad no more. I used to feel bad for being so hard on myself. Well, hard on cause that's how I talk to me. That's how I talk to myself. Boy, what you mean you tired? You got so much stuff to do. That's why I don't rest. Now I know that's probably unhealthy, so I can't keep saying that to myself. I do got to get rest. I'll be reading y'all comment. You got to get you some rest. But I just be thinking, man, look at all the stuff that got to be done. How do you sleep? How you okay taking 3 naps today? Man, I feel unproductive if I take 2 naps in a day. Damn, you can't afford 2 naps in a day. But I probably should. But this how I'm talking to me. So maybe I am wrong. But this how I be feeling, man. Like, golly, man, it's too much. You know, it's too much to do to be sitting around, laying around all day. Lay down and read. Lay down and listen to grow. Shoot. You know what I'm saying? Sister Randisha.
I don't know. You just came in hot off that one, but just a few things that stood out to me. When Brother Nuri was talking about the mining process, and as we stated earlier on, is that mining is a gentle process. You just can't just badger the tool into the ground and just think that you're going to get something that is of perfect value out of the ground like that. You have to be gentle. And this is just within anything, you can go into anything and you can talk to somebody like the minister said, you're not going to get what you want from your husband by yelling at him or talking down to him in one of the lectures. I believe it was Know Your Role, if I'm not mistaken. But he said, if you come off soft and you say to your husband, baby, I love you, or et cetera, you will get more out of the deal. But I also think about where the minister also quoted, where there is no righteous woman, there is a man that made her that way. So we are, by circumstances, we are made that way. But just a few things that stood out. Hold on. So with Brother Nuri, when he talks about in his book, when marriage is done right, it will convert your home into a spiritual recharge center. Like, we all need that recharge. Your husband come home, he worked all day after fighting in the world and fighting with the white man all day. He doesn't want to come home and have to fight with you as well. And as a woman, the home is the base. That is not her place. So where you unplug from the world and plug into a source of love that will give you both peace and power. When we come into the nation, it tells us that one thing that we are a part of is that the nation is peace, right? But he also stated, Brother Nuri, that the meat you choose will either aid, and this is in his book as well, in our growth and development to greatness or confine us to complacency. They will either be our other half or make us half of ourselves. And this is why it's definitely important when we court, right? Hold on. Says, in one of the lectures, Brother Nuri was talking about, black women are the least married women. Well, this was from Sister Leslie Muhammad. But the topics of discussion include marriage, courtship, and black male-female relationship, among others. Panelists said courtship is a process to present your case and tell who you are. So when we're in the courtship process, we're bringing brothers to court, we're bringing sisters to court, we're pulling up evidence, right? When you're on trial, you got to make sure that you can prove your case, or this can be a life sentence. We want to make sure that the person that we're spending our life with is not a life sentence or is not a death sentence. Don't wait to ask questions after you have gotten engaged. Ask the proper questions before you enter engagement, and don't ignore red flag warnings. Like sister was saying, is that we know everything about P. Diddy, we know everything about R. Kelly, but do we know everything about ourselves? And as he stated, is that the reason how him and his wife is so close and compatible for each other is because he like his wife. He loves his wife, so he's always studying his wife. You know, as I put in the chat, that book, How to Have a New Husband by Friday, doesn't necessarily mean that I'm going to get a new husband by Friday, but it also teaches me how to communicate with my husband on a better level. Because as an only child, sometimes my communication skills is not his communication skills because he comes from a large family. So sometimes I'll just go in a room and I just think that, this is my way, and then my children understand me because since they're so far apart, they go and do their own little thing. They understand me. My husband doesn't sometimes, so I'm learning how to be more, I'm learning how to communicate more efficiently and effectively for my husband because according to me, I thought Sister Randisha was perfect. And marriage has showed me that blemish that Sister Randisha has at Ambi may not work, but proactive may work for me. So I have to be careful of what, how can I say it, of what product I use and what I listen to. And this is just television, and this is just talking to my friends, and what am I getting out of that? What am I extracting out of that? So, what else stood out to me? So we definitely have to study. Like my biggest thing is studying me. Self mastery of self. That is really, really big, and that's really important. And then, so many people said so many things, but like Brother Supreme Mustafa said, is that nobody want a cute bum. I'm not sure if sisters want a cute bum, but we all want a man that is worth it. And sometimes when you have a strong man, like the minister said in the beginning, is that when he came home and he was tripping, Mother Khadijah said to him, "Listen, you are altering this relationship." So we have to be careful of what relationship we alter. But she did give him that so that he knows that when he come home, if he tripping, guess what? You are the problem. Although I can try to be the solution, sometimes it is, I don't know, sometimes for me it's a win-win or lose-lose. Because how can I help you if I don't really know what the problem is? And you don't even got to tell me the problem, but this is where studying comes in at. So I guess that we don't study enough, like you said, that we should never be bored. But then I also think about when a minister says that, as me and my husband was talking the other day and we was going through the Quran, as Brother Nuri said, is that, when he went to the library and he had them do research that they didn't even have anything from the Holy Quran or the Bible. So this is just me and just saying anything. I feel like a sister should do this. Or even on TV when Nick Cannon said, in the interview when Nick Cannon was talking about him just having multiple relationships and multiple mothers for his children. People be like, oh yeah, but Nick, blase, blase. Nick's mission ain't your mission. Randisha's mission ain't your mission. Ben's mission ain't your mission. Sometimes we do everything, and I put this in the chat as well. We know how to mind everything else but our goddamn business.
Come on now.
That's one thing that we don't know how to do. We know everything about Brother Ben. We can go in there. Brother Ben Network is 4 billion. Got 12 children. 6 wives. We don't know nothing about ourselves. We don't know that we need an oil change. We don't know that my red light is on. We don't know that I got 12 red flags. I done been married 12 times. I done been divorced 6 of those times. You know what I mean? And we just going through so many things. So, and then, I'm going to close out this from the minister. I ain't gonna go on, but when the minister said, I don't know, maybe I should just close out, but but the minister says, I'm not trying to put our women on the pedestal that they don't deserve to be on. No man is a man without a woman. It's a woman that helps the man be a man, and Brother Nuri said that in so many ways. So we definitely have to be careful of what relationships we have. Like the minister says that we have relationships all walks of life. That don't mean that we're going around like Sister Ina said, her friend is going around just sleeping with people, writing people wives in street terms, sister will get got. like Medea said, like, I got to get you before you got me. You know, so we always have to make sure that even when we're doing things, that all of our general orders are in effect, because this actually help us. Those 8 steps of atonement are very, very real and important. And like Brother Ben said, and so many on the call, if we're applying this. And then to Brother Marcus' point, you know, he did put something in the chat. It was deleted then. I deleted it because we don't want no one to be distracted by what you're saying on polygamy and et cetera, et cetera. In the nation, we raise men. This is why I came to the nation. My son will not be walking around with a broken hand. And for those whose son is in that state, the minister said that, you know, or Brother Nuri said that you can come in one way, but you're going to leave out another. So it says when you come into the nation, even when they put on that broadcast before, it says new thinking, new ideas. So if you come in there with the same thing, that means that you have not changed, that you have not evolved. And that is just for me as a wife. What is Sister Redisha doing with herself? So assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum salam. Man, you hit it on the head. With one being the only child and another being from a big family. That's you know, I've learned these are the type of things that you have to know in communication. I went through that with a business relationship. Brother, you know, a brother. Well, let me first say this. I don't really care about if anybody check on me like that. Maybe it's because I grew up entertaining myself and I became okay being alone. I don't like actually when people call me and do the whole rundown. How's your family? Man, how's everything going? Cause you don't care if I say, man, it's bad like I'm boy, we just into it like I'm you ain't finna be like, oh, okay, bro, let me talk to you for the next hour about how to fix it. You know what I mean? Like it's just protocol. So now, come on with it. Hey, Brother Ben, I was just calling you to see, brother, how did I get that password? I'd rather you just say that. Don't miss me with all the fluff and, you doing all right. So you don't care. I mean, you may care, but just come on with what, you know what I mean? So I don't need all that. I don't need you to say, hey, soldier, I just want to say, happy birthday to you. I don't need, it's cool, but I don't really care about birthday. Then when I came into the nation and known that we don't celebrate birthday, I sure didn't care then. So I don't really be on that. You know what I mean? Happy nation anniversary. Man, that don't really mean nothing to me. You know what I mean? I don't know, man. I can't explain it, man. I'm not to where I don't care, but it's like, I don't know how to explain it. But that's just how I am. So, but a person may, like the person, he was like, well, I didn't think, we ain't that cool because you didn't call and, you didn't come to my son's birthday party. And I like, but there's all these other things that I did. So I saw me giving value in all these other ways. I'm thinking like, bro, I would charge somebody a whole bunch of money to do what I just did for you for free. But to him, it was, you didn't call or you didn't come to maybe the game or something. Like, I don't know, man. You know what I mean? So different people value different things is basically what I'm getting at. So in a relationship, business and marriage, like there's different things that another person may value that you may not value, that you may not care about. You know what I'm saying? So, but that got to be talked about so that nothing is taken personal. See, because they may get it from another person and say, this person they may conclude this person loves me and this person don't. No, they just love differently. You may be missing that it's something that this person is doing. You know what? Let me give you an example. Let me shout out my brother Winford. Brother Winford sent me an audio the other day and he thanked me. This made me feel good, by the way. It really made me feel good, man. I really appreciate him for this. He sent me an audio and he thanked me. He said, I thank you, brother. I'm grateful. He said, this is how, when you text me and say, are you on? This is how you showing love. See, I felt seen when he said that. Because that is my way of showing love. Me sending you a link. Me studying, and when I study something, I'm learning it, and I just share it out. That's how I show love. It may not be giving you a big old hug. It may not be me calling you, talking to you for an hour like some people do. It may not be me sending you a gift. It may not be me buying you something. To me, man, this knowledge and what I'm learning, and to know that you need something and sending you a link so that you can read up on it, that's going to improve your life more than me buying you something something material, or giving you something that's going, you ain't going to be using for the rest of your life. To me, that knowledge that I'm introducing you to, that link that I'm sending you, that's going to help you for the rest of your life. And I said, man, that really felt good, man. Because some other people may not see, damn, they may say, well, they didn't give you this, or they didn't, you didn't do this for me, or you didn't think about doing this. But damn, what about when I saw that you was going through this and I sent you that video so you can check it out? What about, Brother Dan, you keep coming off mute. I don't know what's going on, but you keep hitting it. What about when I noticed that you was dealing with something and then I sent you that link to you, or I played that lecture? Sometimes y'all don't know it, but sometimes I do lectures in the morning based on what I'm reading in the comments. Oh, okay, they going through this. Let me think of a lecture that I could do in the morning that may answer and help them with whatever they're going through. To me, that's love. But as the only child, I'm not finished. It's not, I don't know, it's uncomfortable. It's unnatural for me to sit here and, like, for example, y'all see me talk on camera. But if you was here in person, I wouldn't be talking like this. It would be awkward to me, honestly. It's not that I'm faking. This really me. But as the only child, I found my voice through creating videos as the only child doing things alone. I would not do this if there was a lot of people in here. I couldn't do the power call. It's hard for me to even watch myself on the screen if I'm watching other people watch me. See, I don't know why, but I've always been that way. But as the only child, I operate that way. Lastly, there's a cousin I used to have that technically lived with us growing up. I just liked the fact that he was in the house. We didn't always interact. When he left, I would be like, damn, I sure wanted to come back. Now, somebody looking in would say, damn, y'all don't even really be talking that much. It ain't like y'all doing stuff all the time. You just be in the room on your laptop and you got your cousin in the room. In my mind, I'm cool with somebody else just being in the house. We ain't got to interact. We ain't got to play games. We ain't got to do that. The fact that I could just to know you in there is good enough for me. Because really, when I'm working, I don't want nobody around me. When I'm in my zone, I don't want to deal. I don't want nobody around me. When I'm going through something in my life mentally, I go into my shell. Cause I'm one with God. I'm thinking about as a child when I'm coming up with my ideas to be an entrepreneur. I'm in that room alone, talking to me. I'm on YouTube researching stuff by myself. So in life right now, as an adult, if I'm going through anything, I want to be alone. I don't want to, I'm not one to come hold me. No, I may seem like I'm more distant, but that may be a problem in the relationship, because in the relationship, you're supposed to get close. You're supposed to talk about it. I may need a little time to process. The way I heal and get more happy is by being alone. That may be a problem, because my happiness, for me, I learned how to make myself happy growing up. Playing basketball. I used to do this playing basketball. I done played Allen Iverson and Michael Jordan so many times growing up. I'm going like this. I'm doing a layup. I'm talking about literally, I do a layup and block my own shot. Boom, got you. I literally used to play one-on-one with myself. I literally learned how to make myself happy. So I don't know what it feels like I'm just being transparent. I don't know what it feels like to be obligated to make somebody else happy. Because I believe you're supposed to make yourself happy. And everything else is a bonus. If somebody else make me happy, praise be to Allah. But Y'all don't, you not what fuels me. Me working and playing basketball is what fuels me. But I gotta learn that everybody else, that's not how they fuel. They need a person to fuel them, maybe. They need somebody to call them. They need somebody to check on them. And that's I gotta grow. So boy, this is my therapy session. I'm in therapy now. Shoot, this is my therapy right here. I feel good to get this out, boy. It just feels coming off my shoulders, man. But yeah, man, this is man, it's a lot. It's, these dynamics. These are things that we don't think about when we going into business. Yeah, see, in business, we looking at the bylaws and the partnership agreements, and we looking at, okay, do we got this in play? We got the LLC. Okay, do we got our operate? But we not looking at, hey, how was your upbringing? How was your upbringing? How do you best operate? Do you operate better with a team, or do you operate better by yourself? See, these are things we also got to ask. It's not just I heard the minister say, it ain't just you believe Allah, you believe in the oneness of Allah, Muhammad is his messenger. He said, oh, he got to know a little bit more than that now. Just because they MGT, that you MGT, okay, she the one for me. No, that ain't necessarily the case now. What's her background? What's her thinking? How does she operate? Does it align with you? Just because he F or Y. You see what I'm saying? So all that, man, as we gotta, that's why I keep saying we gotta dig into ourselves and realize that. But if we don't even realize that about ourselves, if I didn't realize that when something happened, I find myself going, try to get alone. I gotta be alone. I gotta be alone. If I didn't notice that about myself, I wouldn't be able to then say it to the other person so that they are aware this is how I am. So they can make a choice. They may say, well, I don't want to deal with a nigga like that. Shoot, go on to the next one. See, so you give them a chance to say, do I want to deal with that? Or I don't want to deal with that. And then it's peaceful. So, I don't know Brother Ben X personally, but I also praise be to Allah. All right, next person. Look like I done brought some number ones out. Am I triggering something, y'all? Okay, here we go. Sister Shalon.
Oh my goodness. So this is awesome. Brother Ben, the growth that Dianetics, let me make sure this is turned on. The growth that Dianetics brings out of an individual is so very much so needed, especially with regard to relationships, and not just male female, because in my book I speak on the overcoming the difficulties in all relationships. That's what Dianetics can help one do. And I'm seeing the burdens being lifted from you just by these last couple of days. It's not that we knew of any heavy burdens, but just the direction in which we're going, the conversations and the questions that are being posed in the school area, in the community that we have in school, it's showing the effects that the Dianetics is having. And it's such a beautiful thing to see. I remember what it did for me, and it's still doing. I don't think I'll ever end it. And with you coming into it now, Dianetics will never end in my life because of the growth from it and the truth that it allows you to stand on. With the difficulties that I've experienced, I find them to be so hurtful because when I stand on truth, with truth being the boss, why is there competition? Why is there conflict? Why is there any disagreement when truth, as we know, should be the boss? It takes me to the quote in one of these movies, I'm not sure what it is, but when he hollers, you can't handle the truth. Like, why is it that we have such difficulties handling the truth? What is it that happened in our lives in our past where we cannot accept truth and go from there and make things better in our lives? It took me to when it was mentioned about if both of us are not doing
Dianetics together, then you easily become unequally yoked even deeper if it wasn't kosher to start with. And I say that because Jamie mentioned about choosing a mate that elevates you. Be very careful with choosing a mate. And I'm learning this. I've had to learn this because of my poor choices. And when Brother Ben, when you mentioned about when you put up in the community, that's the power community, that it's not the other individual, that it's you. And I felt some kind of way behind that, but as I elevated my thought with that question, yes, I can see that, because if I didn't know how to handle myself or how to handle the situations on an elevated level, then yeah, it was me, because I'm going not necessarily tit for tat, but I didn't know how to exercise my tongue. And if you give it to me, I'm going to give it back to you, but that's not the way to do that. And then Randisha mentioned about, well, first of all, Sister Ina mentioned about problems with the mother. I had no idea that if a man has a problem, or a woman for that matter, but I'm going to speak with regard to the male. If he has a problem with his mother and is living has lived a very horrible and toxic relationship with his mother, then Randisha said that you're going to get it. She said that in the chat. Yes, I totally agree with that, because if he has an unhealthy relationship with his mother, then everything that he really wants to say to her and how he feel about what she has said to him and done to him, he's going to take it out on the woman that he has, not necessarily knowing, because I had to grow up and realize mentally that he may not have understood that the way that he's treating the other woman, and I'm not going to use myself because I'm sure he's had others, because I'm not going to believe that he's been by himself all of his life, but knowing that I say, someone said wicked by circumstance. I've really called him a wicked individual, but I'm learning and realizing that good-hearted people have triggers and can just act out in such wicked ways, not necessarily wanting to really do that. But the triggers are so real that you don't even know that, and I learned that through Dianetics, you don't really even know that you're doing this to another individual. It's just the trigger that's that aberrated mind. That, and we'll look up aberrated, also look up intangible in my head that I have to remember. But that aberrated mindset is so harmful to an individual when you really don't know that you're dealing with that. I'm not sure who said it, but it's very, very important to find out what's going on in an individual's mindset, which takes me to the very, very, very important aspect of going into courtship properly. Don't just be out here haphazardly choosing a mate, because you run into madness when you do that, especially when you don't choose a mate that can maintain you. I had a post that I posted on my page. A brother was speaking on, one brother said to him, he was talking about how she wasn't doing what she was supposed to do, and she didn't say what she was supposed to say, and da 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 da. And his thing was, men are maintainers of women. And I dealt with the fact that, well, he's taking care of you financially. Yes, but it's not all about finances. Take your money and stick it up your ass. Excuse me, but I need mental health. I need spiritual health, emotionally balanced individual. I'm not concerned about your money. Yes, it's needed. Absolutely. That's part of your maintenance as a man. But that's not that's not the end all be all with that. You have to get in touch with your other side, the other sides of you that women need. But I also realize if he's not in touch with Allah, if he's not in alignment with God, you're not going to get it because he's just not in alignment with what it is that he's supposed to do. So I'll end it with that. And it has nothing, and Brother Ben, you just said it, has nothing to do with being an FOI, being an MGT. You just have to be in alignment with God. I'll end it at that.
Praise be to Allah. You know, let me share something real quick. Let me send this link to Sister Randisha while I'm doing that, though. Hold on. Hey, Brother Marcus, you said if I can't explain myself on the mic, I will make a public video and address this. Brother, please. You're in the queue. You gonna go. We ain't going nowhere. I ain't got no meeting that I have to get to. We got you. I promise we got you. Listen, I put my right hand on the Quran that you gonna get to speak. You gonna get the mic. Everybody gonna get their turn, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, come on, now you're poking now. We got you. We know you're gonna address it. We want you to address it. I want you to address it. I just told you in the queue. Just give us a little time, brother. We got you. But this is what I want to share. To your point, sister, see self-awareness. See, I prided myself on being the sole provider. And I know that being the money person or, being able to pay the bills is not obviously the only thing that you got to do. It's maintain mentally and spiritually and those things. But I said, why? Sometimes it could be like, well, all you care about is, and growing up, I always wanted to relieve my mother of the burden that I saw. I've seen my mama cry sometimes in the car when nobody else seen her. I can recall being a little child. She probably didn't know that it was gonna stick with me, but I remember being 5. I'm talking about really, really young, seeing my mama drive and she crying because of she always working and feeling like unappreciated, you know what I mean? Or feeling whatever she was feeling, but have to work and come home and she's cooking. I mean, she's dutiful. She's cooking and she's doing this. She's washing. I mean, I think that's where I get it from, being just a robot. No matter what's going on in her life. And I done seen some stuff. But she still was able to, so I always wanted that for her. Just relax. You can just take a week off. You know what I mean? I can remember in middle school where now you gotta know how much I wanted to do this for her if I did this. I was gonna start a business where I cleaned up the apartments. Like, we stayed in apartments. I was gonna put paper on the door to clean their houses to make money to help so that she don't have to work. So my goal of return my mom was something I wanted to do since middle school. I was finally able to do it. And, by the grace of God, before she passed, give her some time off. She was able to go to Puerto Rico. I mean, that felt good to be able to do because I finally was able to hit my goal. And a couple years later, she transitioned. But I was, I'm glad. And I had one more goal I wanted to get her, but I wasn't able to get this next goal. But anyways, so going into a relationship, I know what she wanted. I know what she desired. Like, she never did nothing for herself. She never was able to just focus on, do you, be you, what you want to be. It always was like work, work, work. And to be able to provide that, although money ain't everything and all that type of stuff, it's not necessarily the money, it's the man, I'm able to provide what I know my mama wanted. You see what I'm saying? I was able to I'm able to. She wasn't able to do what she wasn't able to just take a nap all day if she wanted to. She didn't have that luxury. Man, I can provide. So when you grow up thinking that, it's not for me. I can't speak for any other brother. It's not that I'm just, you just want to do the money. No, it's that my mind is saying I'm being what I wanted my mama to have. And that's and maybe that's that's the connection. And of course it does, again, anything that I'm saying doesn't mean that a person don't have room for growth. So yes, it's mental, it's spiritual, it's emotional, and all that type of stuff as well, of course. But for me, that was a high thing for me. That's a big thing for me, because it's like, man, I'm able to, I'm how happy would my mama have been if she was able to take a week off. If she was able to say, I ain't got to worry about no bills. She had to worry about bills and cook and clean and do this. And she filming my basketball game. And she doing, you know what I'm saying? To where some women, they got to do all those. They got to work and come home and cook and come home and clean. And they got to worry about their babies being out the house. See what I'm saying? But to be able to provide an environment to where, okay, homeschool. You got the child. We ain't got to worry about if the child, if the daycare person gonna be mad this day and they ain't gonna treat them with love. Even if it ain't homeschooling, at least there's some resources to take them to a close relative or something like that. You ain't got to be out the house stressed out. Then you coming back in the house and see. So that's a. I don't know what I'm getting at, but it's like that's what drives the will and the desire to make sure, so where it may be times where it seems like you care more about this than other areas. Well, it may be, but it may not be for the reason that you may think it is. And if I don't have that understanding, hell, I don't even know why I'm leaning towards that. I don't even know why I'm like that. And then, as we become more self-aware of ourselves, we'll start to understand and not say, oh, he don't want to care for me. He don't want to maintain. She don't want to. It may not be that they don't want to. It may be that, hell, that's a struggle for them because their mind and what they're conditioned for naturally is leaning for this for a particular reason. Figure out the reason. So although you still need it, although I still need it, now I understand it and I'm not misjudging it. See, because then when you misjudge it, now you may be affecting the person. You may be affecting their ability to grow in that area because you've mischaracterized them. Man, listen, I'm gonna become a psychiatrist. No, not a psychiatrist. I'm gonna become a mind something over life experiences. I'm gonna master this thing. Okay, let's go to let's see who's up next. We got up next in the queue, because we got a queue now. Y'all don't see the queue, but we do got a queue. The queue is Sister Randisha, if you can get it to me. Oh, brother Marcus, you up next. Then we got the next two are repeats.
Yes, sir. Assalamu alaikum, family.
Walaikum salam.
Yes, sir. I just want to say that Brother Ben X's community has been very beneficial to me, and it is very, very beneficial to a lot of brothers and sisters, throughout the world. I mean, but like every community, we have our ups and downs and ins and outs and everything. That's how we grow. That's how we grow. So basically, I just wanted to address something our sister said. I'm not going to mention her sister's name, but she did mention my name. So that's why I feel I have to come up and address a topic. We're currently talking about relationships, correct? We're currently talking about solutions and problems. And so my comment was just addressing and as y'all say, piggyback off of our
nah, we don't say piggyback
or veggie back.
Yeah, there we go.
Veggie back off of what that's what it originally means, but we don't use that term. We don't eat pig. But the point is, Brother Ben had mentioned the word lesbianism or lesbian because he was addressing something that is, something that we have to deal with and curb. And so I was just commenting on that when I made my comment, and then our sister was saying how that was something that was disturbing or out of pocket, et cetera, et cetera. And so that's clearly not what I was saying. I said that polygamy is to help stop lesbianism during times of male shortage, which the minister addressed. I says the enemy now has lesbianism and homosexuality activity in Islamic communities and even in the NOI. So the minister addressed this. So I just want to make it clear that I wasn't promoting fornication, adultery, lesbianism, homosexuality. So what I was saying was in line with what our brother was talking about. So I don't know what our sister meant when she was saying that what I was saying was out of pocket and we shouldn't go around with broken wrists. Exactly. Men shouldn't go around with broken wrists. But unfortunately, these are things that are pushed upon us in this society. Dr. Wesley Muhammad has addressed this many times in many of his books on how they're attacking us on all levels, through the atmosphere, through our food, through the television. I mean, we're constantly being bombarded with, this situation, and it's all over our phones. Even Brother Daniel, up on one Sunday at Mosque Mariam, said that he was going through his phone and his son's phone, and some stuff was popping up all crazy. And so these are topics we definitely should be talking about. We should be addressing, and we should be constantly coming up with different solutions to deal with this situation. So that's it. I just wanted to come up here and just clarify my name. And the only reason why in the chat I'm going off about or just saying how if I don't, I'm going to make a video because it was a public statement. So I was going to make a public video to address the situation, not to beat down nobody or, calling nobody names out, because I don't, do that. I never was a rat, never going to be no rat, but, I'm going to speak up for myself. So that's basically it. And one time before I did wanted to come up to the mic and address something, but I don't know if time ran out. I think my one was deleted or something. And so this time I said, well, yeah, I'm going to just, let y'all know. So anyway, it's all good. Love, respect, and peace. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam. All right, Sister Randisha.
Go there, Brother Daniel. Go. He was before me.
Oh, Brother
you
Daniel.
Want me to publicly apologize?
No. I thought you was next. No, Brother Daniel, go ahead.
I don't mind since it's directly related to what our brother said that Sister Randisha goes first.
Okay, yes, sir. So, brother, I do apologize. Brother Ben has corrected me and, others in the community. So I do have those lectures. I will go and watch it. And I do want to publicly, since it was made public, I do want to publicly apologize. But when you are in queue, we see you, brother. We see you. You ain't got to go to another platform and do all of that. All right? So we just want to make sure, because now we're going to have a power call jail. We don't want you to be in a power call jail. No, I'm just joking, but that was a joke. But my last point that I have to make is, Brother Daniel, sorry, I might as well just make the last point. Me and my husband was talking about the number 19 and how it relates to the woman. And I was telling him after, on a sister chat, we was reading the message to the black man that the number 1 and the 9 behind it, that 1 was the woman being submissive behind her husband who was actually following Allah. So that was my last point. So assalamu alaikum.
Do you accept? Praise be to Allah. See? We got that fixed. Brother was finna go on the Tupac thing on us. He was finna go in on us like Tupac was going in on Big and them. I said, oh, brother finna go in on finna do a YouTube series on us. Nah, just playing. Praise be to Allah. All right, Brother Daniel.
All praises due to Allah. I was rolling with Brother Arvents or the E-Team, and I was discussing something about the law and obedience. And Brother ironically said, I said, brother, what's one of the most powerful things you heard from the minister? And he said that the law of God settles all disputes. We got to be lawful. You got to be lawful. There was a lot of points raised. I wanted to, I don't remember the exact question, Brother Ben, but you were speaking about your mission or a brother's mission, and maybe you married to the wrong person because of mission. That was my reality, you know, because at the time I was not really trying to live my mission. But when I tried to live my mission, I found out that the mate that I had been with for 23 years was not amenable, harmonious with that mission. So she was moving in one direction and I was moving in the other. And I don't care how long I tried to hang on, the gap became so wide. Allah was like, okay, what you gonna do? You gonna do an about face? Or you gonna keep moving toward what I'm leading you toward? And of course I had to choose the God. So the minister said in a man in the mission, he said, no woman should try to compete with a man in his mission. You're gonna lose that battle every time. And I know sometimes it's hard to decide that, but I'll say this, and this is from the teachings, when a woman chooses a man, she has to make sure that she want to help that man in his divine mission. Let me say that. Because all missions we choose are not divine. But when you have divine preceding mission, that means it's from God. And when a man is doing something he's born to do from God, the nature of the woman is to help that man. Mother Khadijah helped the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan to become the Messiah. She had complaints. She felt that she was being mistreated. One time she sat at the table and was complaining about this. The minister would go in his room and spend 3 days in a hotel, and this ain't fair, blah, 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 blah. And the minister, and the Honorable Elijah Muhammad said, oh, Sister Khadijah, he's just trying to get closer to his Lord. That don't mean that she was satisfied with that aspect of the minister's mission, but she showed how to accept it if she was going to be married to this man. So sometimes ill treatment can just be the man is married to his mission and he's doing what he's born to do, and a woman has to commune with the God. One more thing that came to my mind is that the Holy Quran says that the man is the covering for the woman and the woman is the covering for the man. When you cover something, you only shield it. I never read where it says the woman is the healing for the man or the man is the healing for a woman. Sometimes we're looking for our spouses to heal us. It's an injustice for me to expect my wife to heal me. She didn't make me messed up. It's a mistake for a wife to expect her husband to heal her. He can help. But Allah is the healer. So I think sometimes we expecting our spouses to be the God when at the best they can be the best one they can be to help us in freedom, justice, and equality. But that person got to be a healer themselves. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad said, we are self-saviors. Sit yourself in heaven at once. He said, your husband going to sit you in heaven or your wife. So even though the minister gave Mother Khadijah A+, A+. Now, when the sisters say, well, man got to be like Farrakhan, well, the question is a woman really to be like Mother Khadijah? Mother Khadijah always took low. She never tried to combat the minister's manhood. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad taught her how to handle a man like the minister so she can stay married. And even when she was feeling ill-treated, she knew how to address the minister in a way where she never disrespected him. The man must learn the same with the woman. Don't not do your duty. Do not maintain, protect, and elevate her. But that man cannot subordinate his mission trying to meet all the personal needs of his wife. She's going to have to go to Allah. As long as that man is in his divine mission and he's trying in submission to make Christ his head, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad said, when you pick a man to marry, sister, you ought to obey him. So we go back to that choice. Don't pick a man that you can't obey. And brother, don't pick a woman that you can't treat properly. Thank you.
Ooh, what a way to end. Don't pick a man that you can't obey. And man, don't pick a woman who you can't treat properly. Wow. Man, you done hit us with, that's a tweet there, man. That's a t-shirt, ain't it? That's a hat. That's merchandise. Don't pick a man who you can't obey. And don't pick a woman who you can't treat right. Man, you done that summarizes marriage right there. That summarizes it. That should be a part of the vows. That should be a part of the training before you listen, young brother. You two brothers and sisters. Don't get with this man if you can't obey him. And don't get with this woman if you can't treat her right. Oh, that needs to be a skit, man. That needs to be something that play on all relationship podcasts. Man, that was cold right there, the way you put that together. So, I got to go. I do got a meeting at 11. We've been here since, 7, 8. We've been here 3 hours, y'all. 3 hours and 15 minutes. Look at this. Time is just flying. But I got to go check out the building for the in-person Dallas event. Y'all coming to Dallas? Who coming to Dallas in June next month? Anybody coming to Dallas? Y'all coming? Y'all going to be here for it's going to be the Power Call reunion. It's going to be I'm turning 30 and the Building Wealthy Family launch. Y'all should get the hotel information today, by the way. We got all that figured out. We got the host hotel, if you will. We got the host hotel. Sister Randisha, do you have the link? Let me see. I think I got the link. Hold on. Let me give y'all the link. Don't go nowhere. I'm about to give y'all the link.
I don't have the link.
Let me give y'all the link. I'm going to give y'all this link real quick. Pause. But let me give it. Let me provide this to you. Put this in the chat. Put this in the chat for you. All right. Boom. Here we go. Here it is. I'm gonna put it in the big group later on. But there it is. There go the information. It's a Canva link. It should have the hotel, the address, the number that you can call, and they may even have the group code because we got like a look. We should have a keyword or something, right? I don't know. Discounted price or something. I don't know. But all the information is on there. Sister Kudisa put it together. It's called the Power Weekend. We're gonna be here in Dallas. The weekend of the 7th, the 8th, the 9th, and the 10th. Okay, and we're going to be having a Zoom soon going over some of the details on what we're going to be doing and what you guys can expect probably next week. So there's the information for those who's been waiting on it. There it is, okay? So thank y'all for listening. I got to go. Assalamu alaikum. Thank everybody for your feedback today. Today was really good. It was therapeutic. People was able to get it out. Is it going to be recorded? Yes, inshallah. I do plan on having somebody there to film it, and we're gonna document it and all that. We trying to do that. But that's a lot of money too now. So I know we ain't in Ramadan doing the power call, but if y'all want to donate to help us get this thing done, because this as I always say, it's free for y'all, but it ain't gonna be free for me. So if y'all can do this, donate if you want to. We'll be opening up. Well, I'll give y'all the information. I don't want to be here too long. We're going to have a Zoom call talking about all this. So just stay tuned. Stay tuned to the app. If y'all watching on YouTube or Facebook, www.thepowercall.net. 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 Make your profile. Create your profile. Get in the community. Read the community. Stay tuned to the community because this is where we're going to be giving updates as we move forward with the progress of the program and things of that nature, because you don't want to miss it, because there's going to be a small window, less than a month window, where you guys are going to be able to get in at a discounted price of the program. Okay. So only those who in it is going to see that, is going to be able to see that price that y'all going to get. The public is going to get another price. Okay. So I'm just trying to make sure as many people know as possible so that when it happens, nobody can say, well, I didn't know and I didn't see it and I didn't catch it. I'm going to keep telling y'all over and over and over again so that when we drop it, y'all know the importance of it. And y'all already been getting value from the Wealth Wednesdays, and there's a few of y'all I heard that got some testimonials that y'all want to share. We're going to be doing all that because y'all already being helped for free. Okay, so thank y'all for listening, and I'll see you guys next Monday. Assalamu alaikum. Boom.
Is Brother Ben here? Brother Ben. Now, Ben got a heck of a program. A lot of people listening to Brother Ben. And Ben tells them about the minister. And Ben tells them about the minister.